All right, everybody. Hey, this is Podcast for us, as well as Podcast for you. We're your hosts, K Dog and Ever. It is April the 27th, 2021.
Still.
2021. I nailed it on that.
Yeah.
And we're just doing shit. We're podcasting, two bros talking to each other about the finer things in life.
Like ear sex.
Oh, yeah. I got a lot of stuff. You want to talk about? There's a lot, so I was like trying to think of what you want to hit on.
Man. Go.
Hey, did you see Invincible?
No, I haven't watched it, dude. That might be one that I kind of wait until it comes out and then I'll watch it. I know you're raving about it, and I want to get into it. And every time I see something, they, like on Marvel, they're starting to compare it to that.
They shouldn't. It is the best animated show. Not animated. I don't know what I'm trying to say. As Americans go, like they have the Avatar, and then this is really adult-like, but in a good way. It's not distasteful. Like there's no like tits everywhere and everything like that. They're just like they go for it. The themes are great. I mean, it's good. And they even go kind of woke, but not in your face. Like there's a gay guy in there, but he's not like the front and center kind of guy. He just so happens to be gay, some guy. And I was like, that's how it's done. And then like everything's legit. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's very diverse too. It's like Asian. There's an Asian character, but it's so downplayed that you don't really think of it as. I am not disengaged,
but not played or placed to make a statement.
Yeah, it doesn't take me out of as you say, out of it. When you feel something take you out of it, and that's the thing that I've noticed.
It's like that was written, that was made to, to tell me something.
Yeah, I hate that, but like other than that, it's pretty good. But we won't talk about that. Let's talk about the Winter Soldier and the Falcon, or Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
So I ended up I know we talked about what kind of fight we were going to have at the end.
We did.
You said it. Carly was going to fight Falcon. When they started fighting, I wasn't expecting Falcon to be defensive, which I thought ended up working out well.
Yeah.
I wanted him to say Cap's line.
Which one?
I could do this all day, or something similar, something with that same.
But that's the whole premise. Is he's not Captain America.
Not Captain America, but something else other than no. But something that resonates with I can do this all day, but not just no.
It's hard, right? Because they couldn't get something catchy. They did a lot of themes and concepts, but you're right, they couldn't nail it with the hook like that.
Some kind of callback, because on your left, excellent fucking callback. That's
great. A good one, yeah.
That's a really good one.
That's a hard way to work that in.
Right. There was some videos that were
on your left.
There was some videos that were like, notice that he left space on his left for Captain America as he's training. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Like, you guys are reading way too much into where he's running on the road. It could just be that he's leaving room on the left because that's where cars go by,
Or he's just running and
he's just running.
He's just running. Yeah.
Like, what
that's
the fuck?
Funny.
You guys are way too into it.
You have enriched my life by telling me that sentence. I didn't know that was it because I've stayed out of it. I'm not in it. So the fact that I believe it 100%.
It was like 10 things you missed, or 10 things that only true fans would have noticed. And I was like,
I see that, and I never watch it.
I thumbed down that fucking video for that one fucking thing. I was like, that's so stupid.
Because he's just waiting for Captain America, which they've not explained.
Or because he's on a certain side of Bucky. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that. There's no.
What'd you think of his suit?
Fucking awesome. I loved it.
I liked the colors, but it was too bulky, I thought.
That's okay, because he is a regular dude and he needs to be protected. So he needs a lot more.
No, I hear you, but it doesn't look, it's too bulky. And like, okay, for instance, like Black Panther's outfit is skin tight. So I don't know why they couldn't have done something like that, because basically that's a Wakandan suit.
Yes.
So that's a vibranium suit. And let's talk about vibranium yet again. Let's talk about this.
Wait. Last thing about the suit though.
Okay.
Before you go into the vibranium part, somebody, oh shit, who was it? I think it was the pitch meeting. I think they said a suit that protects everything except for the top of his head where the brain is.
Well, he has a mask,
but it's like from here up, a bullet to this area around or whatever. He's done.
I don't know what they were going for when they made his. Okay, let's just think about logistics here. So they made his suit more encompassing, right? But then like they kept his face like more seeable. But I think that's a design for like the design. But I mean, logistically, that's stupid, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think he should have. I think since it is vibranium and they have the Wakandans have the
like
a helmet, like
a
and then when he's talking to people, it comes up still with the glasses on. But like it comes up like cover.
But that would have made him too Iron Man-y, and they're trying to separate themselves from that.
Well, I mean, friggin' something's getting dropped off right now. As long as they don't scratch my car. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't. It looked straight out of the comic book.
Of course.
But yeah, you're right. Logistically.
Yeah, but you gotta let that shit go. I just thought it was too bulky. They could have made it skin tight. I thought that's what they needed.
I didn't like that he had to do like the bat turn.
Yeah,
the neck was a little weird.
They could, like I said, they could have made that skin tight and just explained away it's vibranium. However, let's talk about vibranium.
He is built. He can have a skin tight suit and pull it off because
I know he could work. He looks good with this. Like when you see his arms, he looks good. So if he had a skin tight outfit, it would have looked good on him because it's his real arms. But
Luna doesn't agree.
But okay, so he's got a vibranium suit, right? So vibranium is like magic, isn't it? Because like, okay, it can stop bullets, right? Bullets. But like when you go to punch him, that gets to him.
Well, we don't know if the suit is vibranium.
We do. I looked it up.
So the suit is vibranium, not just the pack and the wings?
Yeah, that's what they're saying, that the whole fucking thing is vibranium. And I was like, I fucking Googled it before we fucking did this.
Yeah, but where's that coming from?
Marvel.
Who in Marvel? It just
I don't like some fucking person. The fuck, just take it, dude.
It has to be a writer. No, it has to be a writer. It can't just be a person. It has to be one of the writers. The writers would be the one.
I'm not gonna Google this shit right now. Let's
look it up later. To me, it doesn't look like a vibranium suit.
No, it does not. But let's for the tense. That shit's vibranium. That's what they fucking said. God damn it! I fucking looked this up. Now you got me looking it up. Pause this shit. Okay. Sorry, we looked it up. I mean, we looked some of it up, but we're not going to just dive too much into it. However, okay, so the Wakandans, man, they use that fucking vibranium for everything, from balls to shit that they heal people with. They use it for everything. So you could lend yourself to reason when they went to repair his suit, they gave him a fucking Wakandan outfit, right? I mean, vibranium.
That's the reason. Sense. I mean, that would make sense.
But that being said, so you got this thing that can absorb kinetic energy like bullets, right? And it won't hurt him as much. And oh yeah, of course it could just hit his skin. But so it's right here, right? So why the fuck when he gets punched, he gets thrown? Like, I mean, like it defeats the whole purpose of kinetic fucking absorption. And I even read further into vibranium. It seems to be like so if it attaches to like say titanium or something like that makes it that much more stronger. Right.
Oh,
so if it's just cloth, it's not like it's the strongest stuff. It just absorbs like kinetic energy. So like if you slowly stab them, you got them.
That's why I don't think it's vibranium. I think what they should have made for him, which would have been fucking awesome, was the pack. Right? The pack looks solid, and then the rest comes on like the Black Panther suit. That's what it should have been, because then you could say he's wearing a fucking Black Panther suit with a set of wings.
That would be tight.
And then he would just have to have the pack with him. He wouldn't have to have the clothes. You wouldn't have to see him fucking putting shit on or anything like that. It'd be like throw the pack on and then.
That would be cool if it did do that. We don't know though.
We don't know.
I mean, you see it in the chest, right? And then
we don't know, but him taking impacts and him, getting tossed around and shit, I don't think it's vibranium. I think the wings and the pack are vibranium. I don't think the suit part is vibranium.
It's tough to tell, but other than that, I mean, what'd you think about the series? You know what we should do?
I didn't like the lecture that he gave at the end. It was
you know what? Long. Okay, I got two things about that. One, I thought it was ridiculous, right? Yeah. So these fucking head honchos, they're just gonna listen to Captain America. But I explained on the street, yeah, with cameras. That's what made it legitimized. So in my head, I was like, this is how I saw it. I saw it like this. All right, let's just say, for all intents and purposes, that was just a MacGuffin so that the entire world's watching. So that puts the powers that be, on blast. So they don't want to look bad. But then they're just having a fucking conversation out there in the street. And I just didn't feel like what he said was enough to win that point. You know what I mean? I agreed with him, of course, but I mean, like, you can't just say #reasons.
It's almost like he said the same thing like 3 or 4 times.
He did.
And about halfway through it, I turned and I said, this is going way too long. It came across as a lecture. And what they needed to do was distill it to its main point and have him like as the guest speaker at their next fucking council meeting. It's not like they didn't have the set. They had the set.
Yeah.
They had the set where they have their fucking meetings. So he could have been right there. They could have been like, hey, we're going to honor the new Captain America. Them saying we're honoring the new Captain America, him show up, and then him give his Cliff Notes version of that speech to them at that assembly, which, again, they could have had cameras there. It could have been a big old thing. And not a nice rollout of Captain America. On the street, because that's where the common man is, but really somewhere where you see him and you know that this guy's legit,
Well, I think he was trying to cash in on the moment. You know what I mean? Like, they had just saved them. The world is like, it's literally like the Rocky.
It's in the moment. It's in the probably moment. Like, if you're gonna try and to shut him up, this is definitely not the moment because he just saved your life 5 minutes ago.
I literally agree with you. They should have wrote down the key concepts of what they were trying to do. Why is this a terrorist? We need to do better. You guys could do better. Done. But like, he didn't. I don't know. I think it's the anti-charismatic nature of him. I mean, sometimes it's weird too, because he is charismatic. He was charismatic when he was like talking to her, which then failed. But I feel like there's something to that. There's some. That's where their wheelhouse is him talking to Bucky, him talking to her. Like, he would, like that was a good, like, I don't know. They wrote that well, but when it comes to just, hey, do better. I don't know. He did not. I don't know. I feel like Captain America could have pulled that.
And he needed to say we more. He kept putting the onus just on them.
Yeah.
He needed to say we more.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah.
I don't know. It felt too finger waggy. It felt too lectury.
And that's part of the wokeness. Like woke culture isn't about acceptance. It's about it's this problem or that problem. Accept me.
I really like the end where he took Isaiah Bradley to the museum.
I thought that was good.
I thought that was good. I thought it was unfortunate that there was nobody else in that section of the museum. They should have had other people there.
Yeah.
In the museum looking at that part, because they walk in there, there's nobody else there. There's a lot of people in the other ones, but there's nobody. It was a
ruined opportunity to have like a black kid looking up.
Or for them to have like the tape there still, like in progress, like they're still working on it, but take him underneath there so he could be one of the first to see it. Something like that.
There's that, or you could have just said, who's like, you could have had a black moment, like a good woke moment with like some little girl, like black girl, like who's that? And then you see the brother or the cousin, or who's the grandkid? I don't know who this kid is, but you know what I mean? Yeah, he could have looked at him. That's an American hero. He could have fucking said that. It would have connected all the thoughts, all your woke.
He could have even said, that's Captain America also.
Yeah.
I just got
fucking goosebumps goosebumps when you said
Dude,
that shit.
I mean, there's a lot of different. As soon as I was in the scene, I was like, man, such a missed opportunity. They wrote
that too.
Such a great addition, but fuck. And then you adding the kid, and fuck.
Yeah, I like the Sharon Carter, like she's a bad guy, but now she's like I'm gonna sell all these weapons. I feel like that's petty, like just to make money. Like she went from fuck you guys for doing this to me.
I think they locked themselves in too hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think the extent of her phone call should have been like, all right, I'm back in.
Then just leave it out there. Yeah.
Just leave it out there, like back in to do good stuff or back in to do bad stuff. You know, and then just leave it there. And that way the next writers or whatever, they're not locked into her getting in there to steal weapons.
Well, they made her petty. I get that, like when she says like I fucking did something for the country and this is what I got. And then like, so she turns to crime. I get it. I understand that part. But then like, it felt like she was so grandiose. It felt like she had the ability to take down a nation or something like that. Like that would be her ultimate goal. But instead, she's just like fucking selling weapons. It just seemed petty. Like they took her from here to here. Like she could have went up. Because imagine that one of the greatest heroes of all time, their child becomes one of the greatest villains of all time or some shit like that. But now they're just fucking petty. You made Aaron Carter
a fucking arms dealer.
What a legacy. You squandered her fucking legacy. Like, yeah, she could be a bad guy. I'm with that. Be fucking Baron level. See, the Baron is tight because he's like trying to do more. You know, he's more up. He's not petty, you know?
Yeah, no, he's got a reason for doing what he's doing. He already had money. That wasn't the thing. It wasn't like I'm trying to get money or power. I'm trying to change the world in a direction that I think it needs to go.
He's trying to change the world.
Remember the first time PlayStation 3 had that? The PlayStation 3 one?
PlayStation 3 is so cool. You could play music and then show the planet, and it looked so good.
Yeah, I used to have the projector throwing it on the whole wall.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. And then they made 4. Yeah. Anyways, so we got is there anything else? Yeah, let's write the show. Because I got nothing else. I mean,
Walker. Kind of being a good guy now.
That's Peekaboo right there. So I thought they would go make him a villain. And I was like, seems pretty atypical, right? But then they made him kind of like not a villain. They made him kind of like the gray kind of guy. And it was cool because there was banter between him and Bucky. And I'm like, Bucky's got all the cool friends, man. He's got Falcon. He's got Captain America. He's got this fucking guy. He's got the fucking Wakandans, man. Bucky's like the coolest guy I know. And it was cool that Walker was kind of like, hey, man, we did good. Like, high five. Don't fucking high five me. I was like, Jesus, that's awesome. And the fact that he was fighting the bad guys and he wasn't going too far. And I was like, this guy could be redeemed. In fact, I thought he was a cool character. I mean, he killed that one person and they tried to make a thing out of it. I was like, I could see him. I could see why he's killing.
I would put him in like that Punisher category of
that's cool
hero. Yeah.
Not too far.
Not that far. Not that far. Yeah. Not that far.
I like his tick. Like, what a great actor's choice. I want to know if that was his choice or the director's choice. Because he does this thing where the music starts and then he does his tick where he's like, okay. And then he does it. And then he goes after. He does his head nod. Like when a Battlestar dies, he's like, he looks at him and the music kind of winds like Winter Soldier when they telegraph him. It was winding up like, and then he would do this thing with his head. And then he would go for it. And then he did it again when he goes, this was the plan. You were trying to take the shield from me. And then they start talking to him. And then the music ramps up again. And then he's like this, like, okay. And then he fucks them up. I thought that was great. And he does that more than once. I thought that I gotta know if that was his choice, because if it is his choice, he made himself a good moment there, because I could see dividends paying off.
He's really good. He's really good. I didn't think he was that good.
I hated him.
Yeah,
When he
I
first
hated
came
him
out, I was
too.
like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
But after his arc with the serum and just everything about him, he was like he had such a good arc. Like he went from I'm on top, doesn't matter, goes down, comes back up, and then goes right back down again. Then he comes back up again. I was like, dude, they should have made a show about this guy.
Well, I mean, they probably are, right?
No, he's white. Mm-mm. That time has passed. The white straight male, that's gone, dude. That shit, they ain't stopping that
Okay.
shit.
Pause it real quick.
All right, here we go. We're recording. I don't even know what we're talking about.
Well, we're about to grade it.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about Walker not getting his own show because he's so awesome.
Well, he's after I just said he was white and he said that, I was like, oh, that's not good. That might bode well with people. No, seriously, I don't think there's another white male thing coming out other than Doctor Strange 2, which I theorize will be heavily diversified. He'll be like the only white guy.
Well, there's gonna be Scarlet Witch is gonna be in there.
Well, yeah, of course. Like I said, there will not be another straight white male as a main for the closest thing is Doctor Strange.
What's Monica Rambeau's name?
Melinda Rambo? What do you mean?
Monica.
Oh,
Rambeau
what is her name? She's not perception. Vision.
Impulse? No.
Impulse? No, it's something with perception, I thought. Light? Spectrum.
Yeah. That's yeah.
But yeah, like I said,
do a bunch of different things.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not, you know what? It's magic. They're going towards a direction where the writing is getting weaker. They're just being vague about shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like the serum, it became vague. And then the vibranium, it became vague. You know, like, and then even the magic thing with Thor and them, vague.
Well, even Tony Stark's repulsor tech, it just does everything now.
It does. And then nanites, he could do everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, so why don't you have like 30 of these cartridges all over your body? I mean, it seems to be you don't have to have them all over. You can just move them around. I would have
just a fanny pack, with a couple of extra ones.
Or I'm like, yeah, dude. I mean, just like in the background, and it's always with like, okay, so remember when he fights what is it? When he gets the Hulkbuster armor and there's that huge thing in the sky.
Yeah,
Veronica. And it would keep throwing things at him to I don't know why he doesn't have something like that hidden, fucking cloaked, because he had cloaking technology. Yeah, just constantly shooting it out. I mean, like he should have never ran out of nanites. But whatever. Hey, plot.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Rewatchability.
I do want to watch it again.
Really?
I do. I do want to watch it again.
I'll watch it again once.
Yeah, probably not till the end of this year, though. I mean, it's going to be a while. Maybe like when something that ties into it comes up.
Yeah, Captain America 4. That's what they're thinking about doing. He'll be Captain America, and that's what they renamed it too.
I'll probably watch that.
You know what? We didn't talk about Bucky too much. What do you think about his story arc at the end of it? He says sorry to that man.
Yeah, but you don't know what kind of closure he got. Because we don't know, did the old man tell him to fuck off?
Did you need that?
He didn't get to have, he didn't have his drink with him.
No, I know.
He goes there. He walked by and saw that the dude was with that girl and was like, okay.
Well, pretty much you would say that everyone on Earth has to know Bucky's story, kind of, right? I mean, like it would just be out there. Like they don't really tell us much from a person's perspective. Do people know?
Yeah. I don't know.
I can't see why that would be top secret.
Manhunt for the Winter Soldier at one point, right?
Yeah.
Where they fucking blasted it on every fucking newspaper all over the world.
But they gave him a pardon.
So you're right. People should know his story.
Like O.J. Simpson and things like that. Like we know, It's not like we weren't there, but we know a lot about it after the fact. There's probably documentaries and shit like that. So let's just say for all intents and purposes, he knows his story. So I would say this is how, and I think that works. You're in a shit situation in the sense that You got this guy. He knows he didn't do. He knows. Yeah, they should have gave it to us. He should have it should have been a sentence like a conversation between the two. I know that you were controlled, but I don't want to talk to you. That's the way it is.
Either
this is
either
where
way,
we're at.
like, or
I'm
gonna need some time. I'm gonna need some time. You know.
Yeah, and then Bucky will understand, of course. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, if you killed my son, and I understand you're the Winter Soldier, and all that shit went down the way it did, I still don't want to talk to you. Go fuck yourself. And this is it. This is where we're at. I'm not gonna be like, hey, yeah, I mean, for the event that happened, this is where we have to be.
Or as Bucky's walking away from the bar, you see the old man come out and say, "Hey, where are you going?"
That's like forgiveness, though.
It could be like a couple weeks later or something, or like.
Well, what they should have did was wrote something.
And the scene with him, like, "Hey, I'm gonna need some time," and then right there, or Bucky, he gets a phone call. He looks at his phone and it's the dude's name. Takes the call. You don't really hear what's going on, but he's walking away on the phone with them. So they're still communicating with each other.
Maybe. You're talking happy ending? I'm talking they should have committed. The reason that they didn't commit because it's a hard thing to write, so they didn't commit to what they wanted to do. Like, because
you still
it's
don't
unwritten.
Have to
commit. They didn't have to commit, but they didn't write anything. All it is they see each other, he says it, and then they let it go.
Yeah.
There should have been more.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And on your house, you're saying it could have left it open, this, that. I'm saying they should have just fucking made it devastating. And I think that's a legit thing. They should have committed to something, but they didn't commit to anything.
They cut to the old man in a fucking coffin, dying of grief. Just dung.
All right, so let's go. Rewatchability, I would give it, because I'd see it again, I give it a 6.
I'll give it a 7.
I felt you would give it a 7.
Because you know what? It obviously wasn't written by the Russos, but it had enough of that flavor from, Winter Soldier, the banter, the back and forth, the playfulness.
I'd watch that again.
Type thing, it had enough of those moments for me to come back. And it's kind of the reason why I come back to like Iron Man 2, Winter Soldier, Civil War. Not so much the action, more the writing and the people fucking around and
in general. As I get older, it's not action that brings me back, it's a means to an end. And I was thinking about that the other day when I forgot I was watching, maybe it was Mortal Kombat, I forgot what it was, but the action scenes were so quick. I was good with that. I was watching this one movie called Nobody, and this guy would fuck people up and it would just move on. And it wasn't drawn out. There was no drawn out beating someone's ass. And like Taken too. And some of the action movies I like, it's more of it's a thing that happens and then we move forward. In Winter Soldier, I keep calling it Winter Soldier, but the Falcon and Winter Soldier, there's a lot of scenes where the fucking action happens and it was drawn out. And I'm like, I wonder if this is the new filler. Because back in the day, there'd be filler of like panning scenes and shit. But it seems like Marvel's new thing is action. Because when you watch the Winter Soldier, that movie, the Captain America 2, there's so much passion in each fucking segment of action. There's something to it. It's not just meaningless action. It doesn't drag out. It's action for a purpose. And more to the point of Civil War, it is way more fucking personal. Every fucking scene is heartbreaking almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's that good. It's just that good. Like, even you can even break it down to like Black Panther's scene of him coming in. That's his introduction of him fighting. The scene where Iron Man is wearing a watch and he's fighting him. It's just Iron Man not really committed to fighting. When
he stops the bullet and he's kind of like impressed, like, oh shit, it worked, and then getting knocked back.
And everything was character moments, and that's what I like about that. But this show did a lot of fucking gratuitous action scenes. I only liked a couple scenes. I did like the Walker going crazy because it meant something, And then, what sucks? The Carly and Winter Soldier fight, or Falcon, Captain America fight, should have had more gravitas to it. There should have been a battle of ideologies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did the whole thing just go down in like a basement?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Huh. Oh, yeah.
It didn't have that like when Iron Man fights Captain America and Bucky, it's it's 3 people fighting, and that's not a good thing. It's never a good thing because it's too much fighting. But the energy, the level, the writing, all took you to this crescendo of that fight.
Well, even the music drops
so exactly.
that you can absorb
exactly. Oh, you froze. Pause. All right, we're back. What were you saying? You were doing this. I don't know what we were talking about.
No, we were talking about how the music dropped off in that scene for Civil War, so that you could kind of catch everything that was happening in front of the camera.
Yeah, I think that another missed opportunity for this show was that the Carly fight between Falcon. And I really do think that it should have been. I'm telling you, man, they didn't play to their strengths. They're trying to do a Captain America thing when reality is it's not Captain America. They have to be the best you that you could be, and I tell you, the Falcon's strength is through his nurturing, his talking. Hey, look, you don't want to do this, and it should have been a lot of that, and it could have been a lot of I don't want to kill you,
right?
And set up a scenario where he doesn't want to kill him, but he has to. She doesn't want to lose, but she kind of like I don't know, like like I don't know, like there's I can't think of a movie, but I know that if I keep pushing forward, I'm going to die, but I don't want to give up. And the other character is, I don't want to kill you, but you should give up. And the two come together, and then they conclude in her death. But I don't know what movie.
I think they did a good enough job of writing themselves into a position where Falcon didn't have to do or get his hand. Well, Captain America didn't have to get his hands too dirty.
Yeah.
At the end of this, the Baron blew them up. Carter shot Carly and fucking Batroc.
I know. It's too clean.
Which was I was kind of disappointed at her just like shooting Batroc, and that was Batroc on the floor.
Yeah.
I thought that was.
I think it was a missed opportunity, and I feel like there could have been more there. They didn't commit. Once again, commitment. I think this is coming down to a commitment thing because they could have made the Falcon step up, but they didn't, and that's weird. Yeah.
What's the next grade?
Plot, story.
It was good, man. Like I said, they brought in characters.
Before we talked, I would have rated it higher.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because now we're talking, and I'm like, I'm seeing like I don't mind your story being average, but when you miss opportunities that are right there, it just. And I feel like they saw it. They just didn't want to take it.
I mean, I'd probably give it a 7 for the plot because it was pretty. I want to say it was kind of like a standard issue.
Mm-hmm.
Bad guy doing bad things for good-ish reasons. But even then, they never really fully fleshed out what their plan or what their solution was to the problem of repatriation and all that shit.
Yeah. So I feel like. Okay, go ahead.
There was never like a, this is what should be happening right here with these people and with these people. It was more like we're not happy with how it is, so we're just gonna fuck everything up until you guys decide to do something better. That's not a thing. Usually there's a very specific demand.
I hear you. And like the way they were posing it, like she was such a good leader, but she led herself to death. I mean, like, and like they ramped up too fast on her evilness. I felt. I mean, like on that last episode, she was like straight, let's kill everyone. You know what I mean? And like, I feel like although she started killing people at one point, and then at the very end, she started killing people, that should have been peppered through. But for her to get to that point wasn't clearly written. Like, as in, yeah, you got to kill people to send a message. I get that. But like, what happened to you to warrant killing people?
Yeah, I don't think we ever saw enough of that.
Exactly. I think
and it was just too quick for her to just go, no, kill him.
Yeah.
Just do it. She needed to have some type of like doubt, even if she had to take an aside so that she wouldn't show doubt in front of the people that she's leading. We needed to see that that conflict to make her more dynamic.
I know, because they wrote a character this is a thing that people do a lot nowadays. I've noticed they write for the thing, but they didn't earn it. They wrote that this character is a redeemable character, but you didn't earn it. Like, you didn't show how her pain is shitty, and then that's because all right.
Even the Baron at the end of Civil War, he's listening to the message from his wife for the last time. Then he deletes it. This dude means to delete himself.
Yes.
Fucking Thanos. He gets his moment. Did you do it? Yeah. What did it cost? Everything.
Yeah.
Those are great fucking villains that you get some insight to where you're seeing that they're feeling the sacrifice.
Yes. I feel like if they just, I don't know, they just wrote themselves out of a thing they could have got. They just like didn't earn it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm repeating myself, but I just feel like, yeah, I mean, like if she fucking lost her child or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's missed. I think it's missed opportunities. I don't think it's like poor writing. I think they just like maybe they didn't think about it that far, or they didn't test it. Maybe,
well, no, they wrote this is a redeemable character. That's basically they kept saying, even to the point where Captain America is like, hey, look, I get why she was doing what she was doing. I'm like, I don't get why she was doing what she's doing, in the sense that I get it. You don't want to be poor and homeless again, so that warrants killing people like that. I mean, it should have been like, to get me there. Okay, for instance, like Gladiator. Why is he cutting people's heads off? They have families too, and you're cool with it. You're all about it. It's because like he fucking just lost his wife and daughter. We saw that shit. Taken. Why is he fucking people up? His motivation is he's trying to save his daughter. What the fuck? Is she trying to save a house? Like, I mean, like, to warrant death? Right. I mean, we need to see.
I didn't like the semantics around terrorists versus not terror. I'm like, what would you call them? I would call them terrorists.
They are,
because they were using terror to try and send a message. Yeah. You do random things to make people fear what you might do. That's fucking terrorism, And but it's okay to say,
which could work if you're facing extinction. That could work though. Like if you're gonna go terrorist, you gotta build a good case, and it's got to be fucking you killed people, legs, maimed somebody, something, man. And then you're on board, because then you're like, I get it. I mean, like, they're all gonna die, if they don't do this. But right now, I'm like, it looks like you could just be homeless.
Well, I did like that. I did like that the point that I liked was where he said, we've been calling them terrorists and trying to find a way to control these people, but we're not asking why they're doing these things.
I know.
We're not having that dialogue. That part, I was like, okay, that's cool, because that's a real thing. You're seeing these different movements and protests on the left and the right. Why do these people feel this way? What need is not being met? Let's have this conversation and see if we can meet them, where they want to be met.
I got it. If they would have just explained it away in one sentence, she tried several times in some community, and then you would have been like, I get it now. She could then, and the next sentence, I fucking tried.
Yep.
And then there you go. Just a sentence.
Sent letters or went to her representatives or whatever, tried making phone calls, pleading, this and that. If they'd have shown that, I did the steps that you guys told me to take, and that didn't work. So now,
because the reason I'm with John Q when he takes over a hospital is because he fucking tried, and they still wouldn't save his kid. And I'm with you. At that point, you could be a terrorist, because I'm with you at that point. But they didn't. A sentence would have solved the problem. There we go again. Team Marvel, you need to watch our podcast. If you want to know how to make shit right, you fucking come to us. We'll make you a good fucking movie.
Here's the problem with that, right? We're kind of like quarterbacking this on a Monday, but with animatronics and stuff like that and table reads, there's got to be times where somebody can point this shit out. You know what I'm saying?
No, I have a theory that they don't. They just move forward, in the sense that there should be a person there, that like a tester. Like, Why is this? Why is that? Like a tester.
Right.
Why is his head red here and his head red not there? That doesn't make sense because they do have that. They do have that for scene checks. You know, that's why the Starbucks cup shouldn't be there. There should be somebody there for the plot, like reading it and being like, huh, how come they're not doing this?
Right.
Because we doing it like seriously, you and me are not just quarterbacking. We're literally just coming up with this on the fly. It's not like I fucking planned that to say that. We were talking and then we just came up with that. Like in that instant, we came with why isn't there someone there doing that there?
Right.
Because they don't want to. They want to create their points of view. And I hate to say it, they have an agenda. Not an agenda like to take over the world, but like we need to push our product and with wokeness. I mean, that's the new product. We got to do that. And they do it. And like they're losing themselves. And this is why Westerns aren't what they are. This is the dying of the Western.
Yeah. Westerns
were good at first, and then they started getting worse and worse and worse with more action and more things and losing track of what they were. This is what made Iron Man good and it spawned all this shit is it was good. It was written by a fan and it was written well and the actors were good and they just kept pushing forward. And you got your Infinity War and all they saw was money. And now here we go. Here we go. We got to push our new shit. And they don't know what they're doing anymore. They've lost track.
Infinity War was fucking awesome. Yeah, you could poke holes in it, but is it worth it? You know, for the main beats, for the main emotional beats that you get out of it, all the different character moments, all the arcs and stuff like that kind of like started here and then ended here with Infinity War and Endgame. That's why I like those writer teams. I mean, I'd love to be in when they're writing to see if they do kind of like what fans like us do, where they shoot each other shit. You know, they're like, wait a minute, why are you putting that in there? No, fuck that. That character.
They should have an outside source. You have say, I'm a team 1, I write. Team 2, all they do is fact check. That's all they did.
But I'm wondering if like the Russo brothers, like if one Russo offers an idea and the other one says, well, why would they do that? And then through that dialogue back and forth, finally come to a point where, okay, this is based on what the character's done before and the decisions that they made before. This is what they're likely to do in this situation.
I think you're just describing world peace. Honestly, that's of course what I want. I don't think that's what's happening. Well, of course the Russo brothers, because they're brothers, I get to see them just doing
the Coen brothers too.
Yeah. You can see the best writers are brothers, right? You got the Matrix
thing.
Like the Matrix, the Wachowski sisters.
Yeah.
And you got Coen and then these guys. It's because they're not trying to. Okay, so when you got Wonder Woman, right? You got Patty Jenkins and other guy, and it felt like I want my story to be said, and the other guy kind of just added to it and be like, okay, whatever.
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, it was just him. Him. Yeah. Yep. But when you get something like you get the Russo brothers, and when you get two people of equal value, then you get something. You get an actual thing because my voice isn't more than yours and vice versa. Even if you do have a power dynamic between the two of you, you really are brothers. So you're going to work it through. I mean, you're going to get the best product. And it just seems like it, right? Because whenever the Russos touch something, it's fucking gold. You know what I mean?
I think I mentioned this before, but there was an interview where, and I think it was with like the Honest Trailer guys. They said, we usually when we write something, we want to make sure that it's Honest Trailers proof. Because at the time, Honest Trailers were the ones that were poking holes. Now there's a lot more. There's a lot more people on the internet that can do that. But the fact that they think that way, it's like, you know what? Are people going to look at this and start trying to poke holes in it and criticize, a character decision or a moment or an event? Then we got to reconsider what we wrote there.
So you gave that a 7. I'm going to give it a 7 as well. It's not too bad. It's not too good. 7's good. It's pretty average.
Good. It was good. It was entertaining and it moved good. I think it had a good pace.
Now, I think we'll differ on engagement because there's several times. See, this is the thing that clicks in my head when I hear engagement is it took me out of it. And you said this a bunch. What do you give it? Engagement?
I'm gonna give it an 8 because I was in it.
You were?
In it.
Isaiah Bradley, you were in it?
That's why it's not a 9 or a 10 though. You know?
Okay. All right.
Because I mean, I was excited to watch it. I was like, I want to watch it. And as I'm watching, I'm like, this is fucking awesome. And
I was very
there
excited
were moments where it was like, okay, fucking come on.
Yeah.
Let me back in. Okay, we're watching this now. I'm back. We're back in fucking story mode, comic book.
I'm trying to think for myself though. I wasn't disengaged. I was bored in the beginning though. Like that long ass action scene in the beginning. I get it. They were trying to say this is what we're all about, which is a lie. That's not what they were all about. That beginning inch, like that's setting the tone. I was like, this is not the tone you're setting. This is garbage. But it was a better show than I thought. I would give it an 8. You said an 8?
I said 8.
Score. The score is getting me here because like a lot of times I'm like, whatever. It wasn't like I was into it.
The only moments where I was into the score and I noticed the score and I didn't mind it was when they played the Winter Soldier theme when he was doing Winter Soldier stuff.
I remember that, and that's it. That's it. Only time.
Those were the parts where I was like, yeah, let's go. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
The rest was pretty forgettable. I don't remember anything.
What number?
A 6, because sometimes there's scores. Sometimes there's scores that are distracting. It was like this doesn't fit or this doesn't go. The fact that it kind of disappeared into it and was just part of it. Okay. You know, it did its job.
I hate to tell you this. Most scores are uneventful and you barely even notice them. It's only rare when they overpower, but most times I've noticed that through our reviews. Most of the scores are just kind of like there. They're just like, hey, we're music. We just have to be here. Yeah. We just have, but like, it's not like a Hans Zimmer, man. Dude, it's like, I'm fucking here.
Yeah, I'm in between your ears.
Here, you better fucking know. And then I'm like, I'm downloading that goddamn soundtrack.
Yeah.
I gave it a 6 as well because I was like, yeah, other than Winter Soldier, that's it. You know?
Yeah, the Winter Soldier moments were pretty cool.
Visual, special effects. I would rank it pretty high because there was never a time where I was like this shit sucks, you know?
Yeah, there was a time where this is stupid looking. This is bullshit.
Looked good. It looked real. Like all of it was good. It wasn't explosive though. So I give it a 9. I hate to tell you this. I give it a 9.
Exactly what I was thinking too.
It's good, but it's not perfect.
It was good and it was complimentary. It wasn't supplementary. Like it wasn't a CG fest like to be a CG fest.
Yes.
It was, hey, we need to show the Falcon flying. Let's show the Falcon flying. We need to show, Falcon pushing this there. That it's Falcon doing that.
They kept it real cash.
The acrobatics and all that shit. Those are real dudes. I think very few of them are fucking CG like in goddamn Black Panther. In the Black Panther were.
Yeah, dude. Black Panther. Yeah, Black Panther really screwed up. They could have went parkour and they would have done a lot of the good scenes. But like they went parkour on this. It felt like grassroots. I liked it.
Yeah. It felt like Winter Soldier. It felt this show felt like it fit with Winter Soldier, not Civil War, but yeah, Civil War. But I like that Winter Soldier feel.
Yeah, definitely. It was very real. Let me pause. So we just rated the fucking Falcon Winter Soldier, also known as Captain America the Winter Soldier, which they do at the very end, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah. I felt it earned. Yeah. So Eber, you gave that a 7.3, while I gave it a 7, which is pretty close.
Do you have the scores that we gave WandaVision?
Good idea. Let's do that. WandaVision. Man, really? 7.6 to the both of us. We did rate things differently, but 7.6
higher. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that works.
Wow. I'm thinking about it. I guess we did like WandaVision more.
I would probably say that the engagement for WandaVision was probably a lot higher.
Yeah, I would want to watch it more than I would want to watch this. Which is weird.
WandaVision was like newsworthy. It was appointment television that we hadn't seen since like Game of Thrones.
I'm excited though for this show, but not as excited as WandaVision.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but the thing is, WandaVision was a mystery, and it was kind of like unfolding and unwrapping, and you were seeing how things were coming out, and you were seeing how characters were going to be juxtaposed, and the anticipation was like, how is this going to fucking end? Uh, this
Which was
show,
a surprise.
which was a surprise. This show pretty much ended. It was a pretty standard ending. I felt.
I
It's kind of
wasn't
where
surprised
we
by
knew.
anything they threw.
No,
Nothing.
we kind of knew that it needed to end up with Falcon becoming Captain America. An upgraded suit was cool. I mean, I thought maybe
I didn't see that coming.
the old one. I didn't see that coming. And then a culminating action scene where the bad guys were gonna they were either gonna die or get away for another day, and the good guys surviving to go another day. I didn't expect all that what happened in fucking WandaVision, because Vision for WandaVision Vision effectively is dead, right?
Yeah.
He's dead. The kids are dead, and she had to let them die. Yeah. I don't know. To me, that was just like, fuck.
There was a lot more going on in WandaVision than I hate to be that guy, but yeah, WandaVision had a lot going on, more than Winter Soldier. Even though I do like Bucky's moments, but you might as well just, I mean, that could have been his own thing.
I was more on Bucky's ride too in this show.
Yeah. He should have had his own show, but because of wokeness, he couldn't have one.
But here's the thing. I mean, I'm going to defend the wokeness a little bit, because I don't know that story. I'm not. I haven't lived through those experiences to where I can say that. Well, I'm identifying with this, and I feel this story. I mean, I can identify with Bucky making mistakes and having wronged people, and living with that guilt. Not to Bucky's extent, right? I didn't kill nobody. But I could identify with that part and trying to figure out, how do I move forward, and how do I redeem, myself. Obviously not at Bucky's level, just over stupid shit. No. But WandaVision, that one was, your reality, and everything that you do to convince yourself that this is what makes you happy, and really it might not be the thing. It might be hurting you and others. And you got to learn to let go or change,
yeah,
for yourself and for others. That I think WandaVision, a more universal story. Here, not so much, because it really is looking at a very limited slice, an important one, that comes from 400 years of social injustice, but I can't identify with it, so I can't criticize it too much, because I don't know if there's kids out there that are watching this and thinking, fuck yeah,
That's good. Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point for the podcast. Something that would have never been achieved from my point of view. If it was just my point of view, I would have never said that. But when you say it that way, that's very poignant. And that's why this is a podcast for we, the people. The end. Now, hey, let me talk to you about some racism real quick.
Let's do it.
All right. So we had some people come over, right? My wife's sister, she's very racist. And she got a new guy. So we're hanging out, right? Drinking, as we do. And he goes, so we're drunk, right? And like, okay, look, know this. Look, no matter how drunk you are you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go out and murder homeless people, right? I mean, I'm not going to go out and say, hey, I love swastikas, right? That's not a thing that I would do, right? But I would do something like, oh, let's fight. Or I love you, man. Oh, something like that, right? However, my true colors are still there, even though it's a shitty version or a good version, whatever you want to say. But it wouldn't be like an extreme, like, it'd be irrational of me to go like, let's go and murder people. It just wouldn't make sense.
Maybe It depends on the alcohol.
I guess, right? But no, I've been drinking for years. No, that's not a thing. You get drunk, you are you, I say. Anyways, that being said, so we're drinking, right? The guy goes, I've been talking all the conversations, because I'm very multifaceted when it comes to conversations. I can talk about anything. I have the gift of gab. And this guy goes like this. He goes like, I'm not racist. And then I was like, I'm drinking my whiskey, and I'm like, well, that was random. I mean, why would you say that? And he goes, well, because I just think that people should just of races should just be with their own selves. They shouldn't mix. And now I know what you're talking about at this point in time. I'm like, whoa, you're not like when someone makes a joke and you can say, oh, that's racist because of the joke. And that's we could debate, right? But once you start talking like this, eugenics, like races need to stay. And I was like, but like, luckily you had the conversation with the person who can have this conversation. And I was like, oh, what do you mean by that? And he goes, well, the whites should stay with the whites, blacks should stay with blacks, things like that. And I was like, okay, all right. and then his girlfriend, like, she's embarrassed by this because she knows this about him. Now I'm inferring this. I could be wrong, but she's embarrassed by this. This is my inference of what's going on. She hits him, right? To stop, to like a slap on the arm.
You're right.
To stop talking, right? Then he's like, what did he say? He said, he goes, I didn't say the N-word. I know, like we talked about. I only said that and then so she makes it a point to take her sister outside, so that my wife is very progressive, so like they go outside. So the thought process is that she won't be able to hear this fucking guy get all racist, right? So this guy goes on, and then I go, hey man, and like I remember the conversation vividly because I was just like, you can give me a point and I'll try to counterpoint you. Only one time though. And then I go, I mean, like, you couldn't have you like fried chicken, right? And he goes, yeah. Well, you can't have fried chicken without the flour, the chicken, and the seasonings, right? Those are all separate things. They have to come together to create this thing called fried chicken. And so people are kind of like fried chicken, man. If you can't have certain people without having different flavors. And then he kind of reaffirms, no, they should stay the same because it makes them impure. And I was like,
Kevin, you're wrong, dude. You don't mix forks and spoons. You got to put them each in their own spot, including the.
What about a spork? No,
they get their own slot.
So he goes on, and like I could tell. And then I was thinking back on this the whole interaction, and this guy's like, he got out of prison, shit like that, and you could tell that he is a person who was wounded when he was younger, in some kind of trauma, whatever, abuse, maybe sexual, who knows, right? And he led himself a life of bad, and it's not his fault, right? And then he went to jail, and then it just it sharpened that jagged knot, into a straight knife for racism, right? And that's who he is, right? And so he found this chick that he likes, right? And if you take away this girl, right, a wounded animal that loses its like food, it's going to be way worse. So this is what I see in him, right? So my wife, she wants to, she wanted it. It bothered me, right? This situation. Days.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of surprised. I mean, he's saying this to somebody, and I'm pretty sure you could tell it's an Asian man and a white woman. That
it's weirder.
Got married and had a kid, and he's still saying this to you guys.
Yeah, my kid shouldn't exist.
Yeah,
so, but that being said, it's not even that. Like, there's levels to this, right? Because the girl he's with is mixed. She's Indian. She just looks white. It just so happens that I think he's just more about, if you look white, you white, black, things like that. Whatever.
They talk about heritage, but they don't really know what that means.
No. Someone with this kind of concept of this way of thinking, it's just a damaged way of thinking. Once you see it through broken glass, that's the way you see the world. That's it. The ABC, and there's no really talking to you at this point. So my wife, she doesn't feel comfortable. She goes, I'm gonna tell her not to come back here again with him. He's not welcome here. And I go, I don't think you should do that. You should let sleeping dogs lie, because that guy might. So if you put her in a situation where she has to choose, it's going to be a thing in which, she might go one way or the other. Say she says, I'm out on this guy, which I highly doubt. That might turn him into like a ravenous beast, take umbrage with us. right? I don't know. I don't know the variables, but I know most variables resolving, and we just let that be. And like, if they want to come over, make up an excuse, we're good, right? But if you just let it be, just let it be. Don't stir the pot. But she wants to stir the pot. And I saw this. She says, "Oh yeah, you guys can't come over." Blah, like that. She puts it out like that, right? And everything's good, right? And I shit on it. I don't know. You should have done that. You should just let that be. But
Wait,
okay,
she
so
said it, or you're hypothetical right now?
no, she literally did that. She was like, you can't come over with him. Period.
Okay.
I love you, but not him. So fuck it. Never come here again with him. Well, whatever. And I was like, I don't know if that was a good idea, but like from her point of view, she saw it as she was standing up for her family. And I was just like, I see where this was going. I didn't see that avenue. My thought process was this strategic. I was like, this can go south. If it turns into a thing where she breaks up with him, he will see us as the person who caused that rift because of his weak mentality,
and it's going to reinforce his thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's the problem with cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you eliminate the opportunity to convince the other side. Gosh, what did I showed my girlfriend? She hadn't seen it yet. RBG, Notorious RBG. Have you seen the documentary?
No.
It's worth watching. It's on Hulu. It's good. And she talks about something that she learned growing up from her mom, which was, you know, when you're in an argument, the best way to win is not to yell. You know, because as soon as you yell, you drive the people away. You drive them away, and all of a sudden you're not able to have a discussion anymore. So here, by driving this dude away, you're not able to show him, hey, look, there's nothing wrong with mixing it up. Check it out. You know, Asian dude, married white girl, you know, raising a mixed kid, and just same fucking family dynamics as all the other families. You know, same you know, same weird family, you know, issues or this or that, or you know, child rearing questions that come up and all that stuff. You know, it's there's nothing there to support this idea that everybody should be in their own compartment based on their skin color or their race or background. You know, you lose the opportunity to convince them, and in the way that things went down, you're reinforcing his negative ideas of it.
Especially if it goes south, in the sense that I don't want to be with you anymore because of this. And then he's like, motherfucker.
Well, the problem now is you put the girl in a position where she likes this dude, but now she has to choose, you know, between you guys and him.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen this play out, though. She usually chooses the guy, and the guy turns abusive. So, I mean, long story short, I'm pretty confident this guy is going to go dark side on her when because it seemed to be he was more of a fist closing in on something that he doesn't mean to. It's just that when you have something going on, you know, it's so good, you know, and you don't have the capability of releasing. Like when I lose something, it's like whatever, right? But for someone like this, when they lose something, it's like the most devastating fucking thing. So, I mean, it is akin to like.
It already sounds like he's got poor coping skills, you know, based on the fact that he needs to protect himself by, you know, compartmentalizing into his race, you know.
Exactly.
Probably a survival tactic that he had to learn about in jail or whatever. And and so that insecurity is it's gonna drive him into a dark place. It's honestly though, I mean, I wouldn't fault your wife for saying that, because she probably just doesn't want to deal with it. She probably doesn't want you know, her son exposed to that kind of thinking at all.
I agree, but like, I mean, it's like a tactical play, right? You don't let them, what did you did that for yourself? Because like, if you just didn't say anything, and if they wanted to come over, then you say something, of course. But if nothing's happening, then nothing's happening.
But at the same time, I mean, well, it's also an opportunity. You hear that dude talking. I don't know if your son heard him talking or saying what he's saying. It's an opportunity to talk to your son. Like, hey, man, you hear what he said? That's not the way to think. That's intolerant. Because if your son starts hearing what he's saying and start thinking that there's something wrong with him, You know, he starts to, like soak it. There's fucking adults that still listen to Tucker Carlson and fucking Rick Santorum and believe what comes out of their mouths and thinks that there's value to it. Imagine young kids. They kind of take most adults at their word, and they look at them and they say they hear something, and then they really soak it in.
I kept him out of the loop, so he doesn't really know what went down. But I mean,
and that's good. But and I see what you're saying. Tactfully, yeah, it does reinforce the negative idea that this guy has. But honestly, I mean, how old is this dude?
He's probably like 30.
He's a lost cause, dude. You're not changing that mind.
True that. I mean, like once his prefrontal cortex is fully developed, then he is what he is. I think that he would need a come to Jesus moment in the sense of like, but that's rare.
Like he needs to be in a car accident, about to die, and then the blackest person on the planet comes and pulls him out of the car.
Heart transplant from a black person.
And him just finally realize, fuck, if this person lived in their own country, they wouldn't have been there to save me. Maybe mixing races is good.
But that's it. Yeah. When I saw that, like Adrian, he put it so quiet. I told Adrian about this because like I usually am not bothered by things. And then 2 days later, I'm like, that guy bothered me. Right. And so I called Adrian. I was like, hey, man, I told him what's up. So Adrian goes like this. He puts it simply like this. He goes, that guy should not exist. He goes, what did he say? He goes, yeah, he won't understand it. And that's too bad. But he needs to stop breathing. I mean, because he is a cancer and there's no helping him. There's not.
Yeah, he might have kids someday, and he's gonna raise those kids with those same ideas.
If he sticks to this one girl, he's good. There's no kids coming up.
Doesn't need to stick with any girl, dude. He just get some fucking girl pregnant, and
it sucks though because like, I mean, there are little kids that are. She had like a bunch of kids, so he can't raise those kids to become like him. That sucks to be like, especially in this world, right? Because this world's gonna. Like we're seeing it now. Right now, we're seeing it. It's a thing. By the time there's a 5-year-old that I know that's with them. By the time that kid hits like 10, the world will have already changed. The world's changing now.
Yeah,
it's a big deal. That way of thinking is archaic. It's akin to thinking the world's flat. You know what I mean? Like yes. Racism does exist, but now it's so fucking frowned upon. If you make the wrong joke, they're coming for you. So, like, I mean, I can only imagine what 5 years from now is. And, I mean, for all the, like, cancel culture and all the shitty things that it is, I mean, like, that is a thing. People feel shame now, for being racist. They actually feel shame. They don't hide it. Like, they hide their true tendencies, but they're not just out there anymore. You know what I mean? Like with Trump,
that's what had been happening for a while. And then
the Trump kind of fast tracked it when he was an accelerant.
It is kind of, I mean, if any good came out of it, it's that we realized just how many people think like that still. Yeah. Because they came out and thinking like, well, shit, now it's okay to say these things. Because, we got somebody in power that pretty much believes what we believe. Yeah, he doesn't say the N-word. Allegedly doesn't say the N-word because, there's people that say yes, but whatever. But again, I mean, what did this homie said? I didn't say the N-word. They think that so long as they don't use the N-word, they're not being racist. But those ideas are racist. It's just,
I know.
You don't have to say things or be violent. Just the way that you vote. If you vote to support some type of gerrymandering that keeps your color in power, that's racist.
It's a weird thing that like it is a thing where people thought words were racist, but it's a hard thing for someone to understand that there's concepts that are then racist, and then for them to understand that this is too much. It's like there's levels to being human, right? We understand words, sentences, structures, and then there's concepts, and then so on and so forth. And like I think concepts, as soon as you can start understanding that, well, you're basic. It's pretty much average. But a lot of people are not at that level where they can understand a concept. They can only hear words. They're just like, oh, I didn't say this, I didn't say that, so I'm good. I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I'm good. But you can say something like, here's a concept. This right here, mingling of races, that's a concept. That's okay. That's not. No, that's not okay. That then made it racist.
Yeah.
That's a hard go. And you notice it when you're raising a kid. Like kids come from like words to sentence structures to paragraphs to understanding things. And then it comes to be a concept. And that is a hard thing for people to understand. And once you can get kids to understand concepts, then them as a human, they grow. But sometimes it's a hard thing to understand a concept. It just is.
I mean, I would agree. I mean,
I can't even understand some concepts.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes you need a specific point of view to understand.
Yes. Yeah.
An idea or something. And lacking that, we can only imagine. To the best of our abilities. But yeah, no, I think we're hearing more in the news now from a specific point of view, and starting to see a lot more evidence pile up to support it.
I think it's coming back to baseline.
Yeah. I
think Trump was a good accelerant for everything, but now it's going to whip back into center where it needs to be. I hope we don't go too far, but as long as we keep it centered, we're good. I mean, like that whole concept of that's so archaic. And so like when he said what he said, I was like, this is a unicorn. I had not known. I had known of this hard R racist, right? I could argue anything, right? But this right here, you couldn't argue. And
I don't think it's a unicorn. I don't think it's a unicorn, Kevin. I think it's a unicorn that wasn't doing a good job of hiding its horn.
You could say that.
I think there's a lot more of those out there. This one just decided, like, I don't think you need to hide this thing. Check it out, bitch.
I'm
in the same place I live.
I'm in a racist area right now, and I know a lot of racist people, but they're well masked and they're hiding behind shame and all that bullshit. Right? This guy was so devout. The things that he was saying, he didn't think was racist. Like that's how bad he was, and that I say is a unicorn. Not the fact that there's racist people out there. That's a thing.
Oh, okay.
But the way he thought, he really thought like there's nothing wrong with what I'm saying. This is legit. I've been there where I'm like, yeah, of course, this is right. Yeah, this is right. And then you couldn't see everything. I don't know, it's a mental disorder, I would say. And that's the nature of reality. If everyone else is saying something, and then you're the only one not saying it, who's right? What is reality, right?
What's like Rick Santorum was at this Young Americans Republicans thing, and he said that before the colonies, there was no culture here, and that the whole American culture was brought by the colonials and by the Puritans and all the pilgrims and stuff.
He got lost.
He said there was nothing here before. Yeah, there was Native Americans, but they haven't really contributed to the American culture. And it's like, maybe because we killed all of them.
That's an ignorant thing to say. It just is. Like, like here's the thing. There was this Indians, what they would do, they would kill a lot, right? And they would kill people that they would think not useless or useful, but they would keep some people, like kids. They would keep the kids and raise them as their own, right? And then that was the thing, right? And so we would then recapture our American people and be like, all right, cool, we'll save them. And this one lady wrote a book about it. She spent her entire youthful age with these Indians or Native Americans. And now she's back in an industrial age, all the shit, no teepees, no buffalo. And she wrote how magical everything was. So this is the culture. It's like you dance every night. Every fucking thing's a thing. You dance right, because this is this and this is magic. Everything was magical, beautiful, spiritual. People died. You loved passionately. Then she comes to our world, right? It's cities, fucking steam engines. Everything's dead, right? The spirit of things. People aren't dancing for things. There's nothing there, and I just think that there's something to that. So when Santoro, whatever his fucking name is, when he's like, oh yeah, there's no culture, that's just an ignorant fucking thing to say. Culture exists. Monkeys have culture.
And then I was reading some comments that were saying, well, they took 30 seconds of what he said and took it out. I watched like 3 minutes before that part, and I watched 10 minutes after that. There was no fucking context to justify what he said, because then he started ranting about individual liberties and how the first people that came to this country made this country exceptional, right? American exceptionalism, by promoting and espousing individual liberties as a thing, right? Yet he takes a super hard right stance when it comes to abortion and LGBTQ rights
for freedoms
like that, right?
He's like, fighting. Okay, we took down freedom, but freedom.
Only individual liberties for the people that share your same value system or religion. Yeah. That's not individual liberties. It's the total opposite of what this country was supposedly founded for.
It's very contradictory, the Republican side of things, when it comes to abortion.
A lot of things,
Yeah, it is. Like, you could think of one thing. Like
Obama can't pick a fucking Supreme Court justice because we're in an election year.
Yeah.
But Trump can 40 days before an election.
But then you know what? That goes both ways. It goes both ways. And then they said that, well, we were able to do that because back then we had control. Well, then why didn't you guys just say that back then, though? Why give us? You should have just said, we're not gonna approve anybody that you put out. And that's the rub. I think that's both sides will do that for eternity, because this is the thinking of the Republicans, right? Well, they did it, so why do we? And then the Democrats will say, well, they did it, so why do we? And it's this constant, and then who gets caught in the middle is us.
Yeah,
we're like, oh yeah, right, oh yeah, left. In reality, it's the same fucking thing. It's really, we're in a village, and the people in charge are wearing masks, and in reality, it's the same guy. He just puts on the red, he puts on the blue. Well, and we're just like, whatever Bob says.
Usually it's like that, right? But right now, this cult of Trump, I'll fucking call it that, is so powerful that they're buying into this, and it's destabilizing the whole back and forth between red and blue, staying towards the middle, and it's pushed everybody to the edges.
I think everyone's on the edge. Yeah. No. There's nothing
where they're calling Biden a radical now. I'm like, this dude's so not fucking radical.
It's weird too, because like you'll hear people arguing for like right or left, and they'll say they did this policy, and then you hear that, well, this guy did this policy, and I'm like, you know what? In the end, it's all the same. And the fact that you're caught up in this rhythm, this endless waltz, as it were, so we like undead. We'll never get out of it, because like the moment you start saying, oh yeah, my side's good or that side's good, I'm like, you're wrong. Well, and then you start and then you get caught up quoting the minutia of it. Well, he did this, Trump wise. He did this. You go and look up. I had this one girl told me this. You go and look up this one thing he did, or you go and look up this thing. And then like, okay, if I was arguing the other side, I could then say, well, you go look up this and you go look up that. But the reality is, we're just still here doing the same fucking thing, arguing for both sides.
I don't know about that. I mean, it's a really hard argument to prove, because there's no way to fucking prove it unless we go back in time and undo the Hillary versus Trump, election. Would it have been this bad? COVID and this shutdown. Here you have, with the last presidency, you saw somebody really best case scenarioing everything with no plans on how to reach those goals. And then here you have somebody giving us the worst case scenario like a doctor would, and then, performing better than expected, and tempering expectations at the same time. I don't know, dude. I feel like any other president other than Trump as a Republican, I think we would have had a much better go at this fucking pandemic than under Trump. You know what I'm saying?
I think it'd be the exact same thing with different framing.
different time frame, different number of lives, but number of lives nonetheless. 1,000 is 1,000 fucking people alive that wouldn't.
I'm seeing it worse now than it ever was. And
but you know what? You guys are in a really you guys are the peak right now. You guys, you're in the news over here. You're in local news in San Diego. You're on fucking KUSI. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not paying
local as you can get.
If you don't pay attention to the news and you live my life, right? From the beginning, not the beginning to end. I mean, like the beginning of COVID to now, it's like you can see the rhythm of COVID. Like without watching the news, you can just see the rhythm, right?
Not bad.
And it's worse now. It's worse now than it ever was before. And then when you hear all the stories and you do all the talking points, it's all stupid because this is an uncontrollable thing. It just is, this disease. I know two things. One, vaccines work.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I have tested 2 people fully vaccinated and they got COVID. I've tested people getting COVID multiple times. That's a thing. But that is rare in comparison to people getting the vaccine. I've seen whole families get COVID except for the one vaccinated person, just because. And it's worse now, and only because we're opening up more. And the only reason why I feel like we're opening up more, we have a new regime, so we're trying to work that out. Because before, it has never been like this. Like it was way worse. Now, okay.
Well, the state Supreme Court overturned a lot of the things that your guys' Democratic governor had put together. So
yeah, I hear you. I guess from my point of view, we locked down way more with less people.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an argument. if we look at the data, I think there's an argument to be made that when Governor Whitmer had more control, there was more control.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they said, no, you can't do these, you can't put these mandates out, everything started opening up, and now you guys are the fucking Hiroshima and Nagasaki of fucking.
Yeah, well, I mean, apparently Texas is doing all right, and they're opened up completely.
You know what? But Texas, the population there is not as dense. They're a lot more spread out.
They have more people than we do in Michigan.
Yeah, but not per square footage. They're not as dense. As in Michigan. Michigan, you have much higher population.
I have a theory.
What was that?
I think they test less.
That could be it too.
I think that if you test less, meaning like the reason people are getting tested primarily is because they're forced to.
No.
In Michigan.
But you know what? But in Michigan, I mean, I'm hearing the testing thing, but I'm also hearing the hospital bed issue. How full the hospitals are.
I have an answer for that in just a second. Let me tell you about the testing.
All right.
So you have mandates like, hey, to do sports, you got to get tested. To do this, you got to get tested. To go to work, you have to get tested. If you didn't have those mandates, I wouldn't be testing as much. I wouldn't be testing as much. I wouldn't be getting as much positive COVIDs.
Okay.
So like when you hammer down, you need more testing, you're going to get more results. So I think that the other states are just like, they're not requiring testing as much. I've seen this done at certain fast food industries like McDonald's or Burger King. Mm-hmm. They don't tell you need to get tested. They say, hey, just make sure you're all right. Stay home if you have to. You're good. We're not requiring a test. There's other companies that are requiring testing. That's how I know about this. So they're coming in more. Guy working at McDonald's, not so much. Other people, more and more because of the mandates and stuff like that. So like if you have like, say, another state and they're like, we don't need testing as much. Just be safe. Do what normal people used to do before the fucking COVID, like flu, to stay home. Right. That you don't test as much. And so therefore your numbers aren't as crazy as they are now. So Michigan, because of all these mandates, are creating a lot of tests. And then with the creation of more tests, you have you're gonna have more positives. So the hospitals, this is a thing. Okay, so you don't have that many hospitals here. That's the thing. So your ICU is supposed to be always maxed. That's a thing that people don't say. Most times your ICUs are maxed. The reason why the hospitals are full as they are is because there's not that many. That's ABCs right there.
Okay.
If you had more hospitals, then they wouldn't be as like California has like 4 hospitals like in one little area. Like they have like
then I guess the number I would need to see is hospitalizations per capita then. Not the positive test per capita, because right now you guys were like at 400 and something per 100,000.
And that's only because of the mandates coming out. And like I'm not like for or against. I'm just saying like if you govern a certain way, you're gonna get a certain result. I don't even know if that's like intentional or unintentional. Honestly, I'm outside of this. I'm not saying that there's an agenda. I just wonder if this is a thing in which it's like, hey, I want this to be done, and then through that an unintended consequence.
So,
because
okay,
I mean,
so you're making the case for more testing means more positive results,
naturally,
which makes sense. You know,
but duh.
Trump said that. I understood what he meant, but he was using it as an argument against testing, which was stupid, right?
No. I think somebody explained it to him more nuanced. He took
it the wrong way.
You can't give him high level concepts. That's not a thing you do.
But you also said earlier that it's the worst it's ever been. So
because of because they have these mandates, man. I'm telling you, they're like, hey, if you want to do sports, you gotta get tested. And like, here's another thing they don't even tell you: your insurance company has to pay for this shit, right? But are they gonna keep paying for? I have no symptoms, I need a test. There's nothing like they're a company that creates these programs for you for your insurance, right? So they're not going to be like constantly changing themselves for you. They don't care. They already have your money. So they're only going to cover the cost of a test if it's warranted. But if you come in for a test because of sports, that's not going to be covered over your insurance. Yeah. Now, give it
like $200 a pop or something, $150 a pop,
something like that, because you have to cover the visit and the actual test.
Oh shit!
So, yeah, you're right. So it comes out to be like $200, but like that's inadvertent because of your insurance. So your insurance covers it the one time. You don't even know. So you get seen, you pay your copay or whatever, and then you get the bill because the insurance is like, hey, I'm not paying for this. But we already paid for it the one time. Every week we're gonna pay for this. You know, like that would destroy all the insurances. So Here I am, Blue Cross Blue Shield, 1,000 people need $200 every week. Oh my God.
Just 1,000 people.
I just said just 1,000.
Yeah, just 1,000 people. It's not that
every
type of number.
week.
The number is bigger. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then that's just those people. But there's also companies where there's like it's inadvertent. This is all inadvertent. It's like you could only be open if it's this COVID-free, this and that. And if they don't get tested, then you can't be open. And so like they're like the companies are fuck, get them tested. And so you got these people coming in to be tested. I have no symptoms. This is Bob. Bob, I have no symptoms, but somebody tested positive, so I gotta get tested. So 60 people gotta get tested because they all worked around Bob. You know, and so they're getting tested. And believe it or not, a lot of people don't carry the COVID without even actually having,
symptoms. Yeah,
they don't even have symptoms. But so you catch that, and so that adds to the collective. So you're just getting more positive, just in the way that you shine the light. And you don't mean to. I don't think the governor is trying to do this. I don't think anyone's trying to do anything. I just think that if you govern a certain way, you're going to get the results of a high volume of tests. And if you just say, hey, look, as long as you stay home when you're sick for 10 days, if you think you have COVID, quarantine, don't get tested, you're good. But if you go, you got to get tested to make sure you're right. And a lot of people are getting tested when they shouldn't be getting tested. So the CDC guidelines are this. After your quarantine, you shouldn't be tested because you could test positive up to 3 months. Jack in the Box, Burger King, they don't give a fuck. They want that second test. So
they're having us get tested every 2 months.
So you have a positive, right? You're clear. You're not spreading it. You're good. All intents and purposes are good. You're still testing positive. That's not like a thing that is, but it can happen.
Right.
So you're getting a lot of people getting repeat positives, even though they're not going to be contagious. And so these numbers are just like, these are rigged numbers that you don't need to have. They're unintended consequences of a thing that is the way it is. And I think that Texas, my theory is this, Texas isn't doing it. I think Texas is really just like, if you're sick, stay home. If you think you need to get a test, go and get a test. Most people are like, I don't want that shit in my nose. I'm not getting a test. And so that's why they keep their numbers down. Meanwhile, we got our numbers high, and it's not like, oh my God, it's an epidemic. We're testing a lot. I feel it.
Texas had a high number of deaths early in COVID. I'm wondering if the laxed policies already kind of let COVID run through everybody. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing. COVID can come back.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are saying it's going to be seasonal like the flu, right?
Worse. Way worse.
Yeah, but flu's not as big a deal because, I mean, you have some people maybe like they got sick from the new version, who knows, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm wondering if maybe Texas kind of accidentally hit herd immunity by letting a shit ton of people die last year.
Maybe. I don't think that's the case, because I think flu is just as bad. It's just that we never recorded the numbers that we are with COVID. Flu was just as bad. People were dying. We just didn't record it because we didn't need to. Why do we? When we had the flu vaccine, most people are covered. And if you died of flu, oh well. But here you have this new thing, COVID. There's too many variables. So they were just like, fuck, we need to. In one instance, everything can go wrong. In one instance, everything can go right. So let's just plan for the worst. And then so we did this. And that's where we're at. And I think that's a good move. However, the way we kept going, I don't think we should have kept going. If we keep requiring more tests, I don't know. This is, you know what? This is old hat. We shouldn't talk about this. This is dumb. We got in a COVID conference.
I wanted to speculation too. I mean, it's just we don't know.
We don't. Yeah. Hey, shit! Next year, people could be dying left and right,
all over again.
Because of COVID mutated in their genes. Because so like chickenpox. 20 years later, you get shingles. That's a different thing unto itself. So who knows? Maybe COVID turns into exploding heads.
Yeah, maybe the vaccine fucks us up.
I don't know. I don't think the vaccine is.
I don't think so. Yeah,
a lot of people are like against the vaccine. I think that the vaccine does like it can work or it can't work, but nothing like it'll kill you. A lot of people are going to be like, the vaccine is going to do this. I don't know. I think you're just being dumb. I think if anything, it's a placebo. If anything, I'm not saying that it is. I'm not saying that it's because I've seen
it's that harmless. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you do have a reaction, it'd be something to the additives, and you're like, oh shit, I better take a Benadryl. If anything. Other than that, nothing. There's nothing wrong with taking the vaccine. I just think you just taking it, you might have to take it again and again and again within a year. Who knows? Let's get into Mortal Kombat. I really want to talk about Mortal Kombat.
All right.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yes. Let's talk about this. What'd you think?
I enjoyed it. I'll never watch it again.
Really? You saying that?
I don't. There's no reason for me to maybe watch it again. Maybe fast forward to like the Kano parts. My girlfriend and I, we were laughing our asses off when
Kung Lao.
Huh?
Was it Kung Lao or Liu Kang? They touched his shoulder.
Liu Kang touches his shoulder. He goes, the fuck? I thought that was so good because what he says kind of overlaps with somebody else. So it was like real, it just felt real. Both of us were just laughing. We're laughing at that. We're laughing when they first all meet up and they're at Sonya Blade's trailer, and somebody says, well, she doesn't have a tattoo, and you hear Kano in the background, and he came out of this rear speaker over here. You hear the wah wah. They don't point the camera at him or nothing. You just hear like a little wah wah in the background, and we're both just fucking dying. We're like,
dude, there's a part when he does the thing with he puts his hand on his shoulder. The way he says it, he goes, what the fuck? Like he's so surprised, like he's disgusted by it. He's like, the fuck? Like, okay, all right. I had to say this. Why? Now, I'm not saying, why did he say, let's say maggot, but with the letter F?
No, wasn't. No.
Why can't we have a character being racist, sexist, homophobic? Why can't we? Like, why would that be a bad thing?
I don't think that's what it was. I think it's
No,
more
it
like
isn't.
I don't
It
fucking know
isn't.
you. You know?
No. But still, why couldn't he be that bad guy? Like Gran Torino, like this guy says the most racist and salacious shit, which gets away with it, right? Why could this guy be? And this is a thought I had. I was like, why couldn't he have said that? Like, why couldn't he have said that? You know, like why not go there with it? Because what are you harming? Honestly, because he's the bad guy. He's a bad guy.
But you know, he was the bad guy, but he was fun enough. I think that would have taken it to a level where I'd have been like,
Really? Oh,
yeah,
I
because
thought it would have been hilarious.
there was it maintains that sense of betrayal when he decides to flip. You know, and he's all, "What? You think you changed me?" I was like, "Oh, this motherfucker! He went full bad guy." You know,
I don't know what he said. What the fuck? Like
I did shit, like that because that subverted my expectations. That's a subversion of expectations that I was down with. I was like, it's just
what I liked about it was when he's that character you want in a movie at all. So Liu Kang does the fiery hands, and then the guy's like everyone's talking like it's normal, and he was on point. He was like, "Did you just like have fire coming out of your hands?" Like,
yeah.
Like, and you're okay with this?
Yeah.
Everyone else was conversating, and I was like,
yeah, they were like, "All right, fire hands, cool." Like, you just saw fucking fire out of your hands. Does this mean I'm gonna get powers too?
Yeah, dude. Like, everything it was funny. There was a part where so Kung Lao and Liu Kang, they're eating dinner, right? And then it goes like this: if you knew this guy's trying to help you, you should be on your hands and knees. And like the gravity of what he was saying makes sense, right? And then Liu Kang, Kano's like, "Fuck you," like that was such a good thing. Like it made sense what Liu Kang was saying, right? It just did. And then Kano, he's such a piece of shit. I just love that movie for that guy, dude. That Kano was the best.
Kano was good.
Best. Oh my god, dude! I like literally right now. I'm thinking about watching it again.
If he wasn't there, if he wasn't there, the movie would have been almost close to unwatchable.
The movie would be atrocious. So let's talk about our main character, Cole. Why? Fucking
didn't give a shit about him.
But why? Why would you have this guy?
Felt like his was it his girlfriend or baby mama? Was that even his kid? They never say whether that's his daughter or whatever.
Well, you know what? At first, no, but then she calls him dad.
Doesn't matter. He could still be adopted, stepdad.
Whatever. It just
not that it really matters, but really, I got a real C movie vibe from those three's dynamic. And then when the mom started cussing, I was like,
everybody's gonna. You know what? Cuss? I liked it. I liked her cussing, but like, let me throw this at you. That Cole was anti-charismatic.
Yeah.
I didn't think of him as the hero at all. He sucked. And like, check this out. He's a fucking loser. Like in the beginning of the movie, he's fucking losing. Not only is he losing, they're talking about him losing. That's how much of a loser.
He's losing and giving up. He's tapping out.
And he also sucks, dude. That's the fuck guy. That's what the guy was saying. The white guy was like, yeah, man, you're the only one who will show up, and you suck. Like they say that, and then he fights, and guess what happens? He sucks, and he loses. And then like, okay, so he's your main guy, and what's his power? Taking it. That's his power.
They shouldn't have had him tap out. They should have had a blackout. That way that even if this guy's losing, he's gonna fight to the end. And so that makes him a believable character. Like if you ever had to pick somebody to fight for you, you'd pick somebody that would go all the way.
Not just quit.
And I would have liked to have seen him decide not to quit before he got his Icona.
Is that what it was? That was Kana. Icona?
It was Icona. The pronunciation seemed to change. It went from Icona to Icon. I don't know. It was okay.
Narratively, I get what they were doing, and that works. No, if you have the dragon tattoo, you got magic powers. I get you. That could explain.
I was down with anybody being able to find their Icona if they were in the right situation. I don't think it needed to be limited to the dragon thing, only because
I think it works better with the dragon.
Well, only because you're already in a universe where that can be a thing, so you don't have to tie it to the dragon. The dragon thing could just be your invitation to the tournament.
But then what the fuck? Why wouldn't you have been doing that from the beginning? It just makes sense that
because you didn't have it. You weren't put in a situation where you needed to go past
to use magic powers.
Yeah.
No, I think that the dragon tattoo is a good crux. But you get the dragon tattoo, you can get the fucking power. It makes sense.
Okay.
Like, what the fuck? Kano's gonna use laser eyes in any fucking situation. Narratively, it doesn't fucking matter. And the fact they were pissing him off and he was just getting like a baby, and then he shoots the laser out of his eye. I was like, that's fucking hilarious. You guys are all bitches because I figured it out. I figured it out.
I thought it was funny that I mean, I half expected. I go, wouldn't it be? I told my girlfriend, wouldn't it be fucked up if he was the first one to get his fucking power out of all of them? The shittiest one ends up getting something fucking cool.
He's such a good character. God damn it. I feel beer all over my face just talking about this shit. Because it's so funny when he gets it. Because he's just like, you know what? Get the fuck out of here. Only people with powers had this shit. You know, like when he says that shit. Dude, he was like my favorite part of the movie. Like, I mean, like everything out of his mouth was golden. And he's like, well, man, the guy's charismatic, I have to say. I mean, like the shit that he was delivering was subpar language, but for some reason he really sold it, dude. Yeah. I was like, God, this guy is like my favorite character. And the fact that he betrays them, I was like, what a plot twist. I really thought he was going to be a good guy. He's like, you guys think just because I fucking said some shit
on a dime. He turned on a dime. He was just like, hey, man, you can be with us. He's like, all right.
Yeah, he started talking to Cabal. Hey, shit. You want money? We can fucking give you that. And he's like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'll be like, you're talking about the end of the fucking world. And like, Kano represents the fucking world that I live in. He just does. It's so counterintuitive to go with the bad guys. It's in your face. They're like, hey, look, the world's going to fucking end. We're all going to be slaves. Kano's like, yeah, that's a great idea.
You have Captain America and he's like aspirational. Like you want to believe in somebody like that because there's so few of them. Kano comes in and that's reality. That's the realness that we live in. And that's what kind of makes it funny because we're in on that joke. Captain America is not funny when he's being all noble because it's not ironic. It's not this is reality. This is fantasy. Kano saying the fuck? That's probably what I'd say to a complete fucking stranger if they put their hand on me like that, all familiar.
Yeah, and then like flaming
I don't fucking know you.
He's like, why the fuck are you with flaming hands? Why don't you pass the fucking potatoes? Shit's so stupid. That's like, I mean, like Mortal Kombat is a great movie in the sense that like I make fun of it and there's like iconic moments where I make fun of. There can be no Final Kombat. You know,
it's campy. It was campy and kind of self-aware. Mortal Kombat's not. It was very serious. This one was very serious.
Yeah, it was. Was it?
Kano was like the Deadpool of it. You know, without breaking the fourth wall, really, but just introducing somebody who's who's real and kind of is winking at the audience. Like, this is fucking crazy. He's shooting fire from his hands. You know, these are superpowers. Let's not fucking call them, Icona or any romanticized bullshit. You know, am I gonna get superpowers too? He's not trying to romanticize it in a way to make it a fantasy. He's pointing out the fact that you're watching a fucking movie without going, Deadpool.
Let's talk about Kung Lao's power. He teleports, like which he does in the game. He does it the one time. After that, his powers are stupid as fuck, dude. He's just throwing a fucking hat. That's what he does.
When he first came out, I was like, oh shit. Yes. And my girlfriend was like, is he somebody? I go, I remember he was the fucking cool fucking character, Kung Lao back in the day. He was really cool.
Yes.
I did enjoy his character. He seems sympathetic. I had a feeling he was gonna die. I had a feeling he was gonna die because
his powers suck. It's like he just throws a fucking hat, dude. How do you write for that? This is stupid. Kung Lao at least like with fire and shit. Okay, all right. Here's another thing. Cole was so unoriginal. It was such a stupid character. Okay, so he gets his powers back, right? And up to this point, I'm thinking the movie's angling towards Sonya Blade because it seemed like she had a plan. She had an arc. She had no dragon tattoo. Now she does. You know, that kind of bullshit, right? So they all get like he gets powers, right? They all come together and they're like, all right. And then Sonya Blade goes, all right, Cole, what do we do? And I'm like, wait, what? Aren't you special forces? Aren't you a fucking leader? Why would you touch this guy who loses?
Since the beginning of time, you know, you're the one that's been on the trail of all these people. You have more intel.
Yeah, you're talking to a guy who fucking loses. That's his fucking arc. He loses. That is what he does. And like, here you are, special forces, meaning you're not average military. You're above military. And you lead shit. You plan shit. Hey, Cole, what do we do? What the fuck sense does that make?
Yeah. I
thought that was stupid.
It was rough. It was once Kano flipped to the other side, it was all downhill from there. It kind of lost that funness to it. And it was just really serious.
So Shang Tsung gets it in his head. I mean, whatever. He starts attacking them, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude? Like you built up this narrative that they gotta fight these tournaments and shit like that, but he's outright just attacking Raiden and shit like that. You know, it's outright just there." And I was just like, "So, like, what's the point of the tournament if you just like outright attack? You know, like I mean, they didn't make that cloak and dagger at all." You know,
yeah, and at the beginning of the movie, they're like, "Oh, we can't let Raiden know that we're doing this," and then they just flat out go into fucking Raiden's home,
and
where Raiden lives, the Temple of Raiden, to fucking do their shit. And I'm like, wait, weren't they worried about, you know, like what Raiden might do if he found out?
Yeah.
You know,
and
just fucking 5 minutes ago, Raiden puts a shield up instead of fucking them up right then and there, because they basically gave him a reason to go ahead and destroy them.
Yeah.
The rules don't apply anymore if they're in your fucking place attacking you.
Yeah, this
he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Fuck. Yeah,
he could have fucked them all up.
Yes.
I didn't like who they picked for Shang Tsung.
You didn't like that guy?
Main bad guy should have some gravity to him, and this guy has no gravity.
I think that's bad writing.
He's the accountant, you know, with a bad wig.
Watch Marco Polo.
Is he Marco Polo? I don't watch that one. I only know him from Dark Knight, and I have a feeling that most people only know him from the Dark Knight.
You need to get there. Yes.
He's good. He's good in that one.
You need to. I mean,
okay. All right, maybe I'll dip into some Marco.
You will like eat your own words. But anyways, Shang Tsung, Mortal Kombat. His powers, Goro.
I didn't like the Icona powers that made people grow shit, like mechanical shit. Like he grew that armor, and Jax's arms got more jacked, and I was like, "That's an Icona." What if his arms hadn't been ripped off? Would his arms have turned into metal arms? You know? Is your Icona something that was in you all along, or is it something that like it looks at you and how you are and it decides, hey, you got fucked up arms. Why did he get a laser eye with his fucked up arms?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when you start to think about it, it really just goes south. Other than that, the movie was, oh man, rewatchability. What are we giving it?
A 3, dude. I don't think I'll ever watch it again, except to maybe fast forward to the Kano scenes, which are probably already compiled on YouTube somewhere.
I am literally going to watch that again. That's why I give it a 5.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever go back to it, mainly because of Cole.
You know what? I got to do something really quick. All right, so we were talking about Cole.
Yeah, we just rated rewatchability, and
I gave it a 5. You gave it a 3.
Yeah, that's right.
5 only because I'd rewatch it again for Kano, as you said before. Other than that, you're right. There's no iconic moments where I'm like, hey, shit, let's watch this for a good laugh.
Right.
because like Mortal Kombat had individual parts where I'm like, ha, this is funny. Like your soul is more that kind of shit. Or
well, and then some of the fights, I think back then too, it was fun to see, those characters up on the screen.
And the music was good too.
The fights were good. Watch, it'll come out in the other gradings. Watch.
Oh, okay. Let's see here.
I'm like reserving parts of what I have to say.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's funny. Plot. Because you got that scorpion part in the beginning. And that was good.
You know what? My girlfriend said, she was like, well, I'm invested now. Because that was good. I think it was a good setup.
Then it kind of falls flat. Because, okay, so for instance,
they did nothing with it almost.
So I'm going to ask you, see how good you were paying attention. Who is Cole to Scorpion?
Just an ancestor. I don't think they ever say whether he's like his great grandkid.
No, because so Scorpion has a daughter, and Raiden saves this daughter,
right?
Who you never see ever again, and then Cole is many generations later.
And he was born in Chicago or something, or
it doesn't matter because he's many generations later.
Yeah, so that's why I said, I mean, an ancestor. I don't think they ever said whether he's like his great grandkid.
I know, like, okay, so.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You see how stupid narratively that is? So Raiden saves this kid, right? So shouldn't your hero be that fucking kid?
Well,
getting revenge.
And lets them fall into obscurity.
Exactly. It's like, who gives a fuck?
Doesn't really trace, or check in to see how they're doing.
Yeah. It's just, and not just that. It's just, it makes it less important. Like, it just, like, narratively, you would want. Okay, so your beginning part of the movie is Scorpion fucking loses his family, needs revenge. Fucking goddamn, he's dead too. And then you have this kid. Right, and then this kid has many other kids, and kids have kids, and kids, and so on and so forth. Narratively, you would want the kid having a family, and they're about to lose their family, and through that, there's a connection between him and Scorpion, which is kind of what they were trying to go for. But you would want thematically, that's your fucking movie. Now, and the tournament is peripheral. Everything else is peripheral from that. That would be your arc. Your arc would be, hey.
I don't think Raiden should have been the one to save the baby.
Okay, what do you mean?
Take Raiden away from it, then the rest is kind of like, okay.
I see, like, you're saying like the Superman like thing. Like, why could this happen to Superman? Is that so? Say you take Raiden out of it, right?
Of that first scene. Of the first scene, then it's basically, Scorpions in hell kind of playing the waiting game till the next tournament for an opportunity to come back and
But how do you make the connection to the kid? Because we don't know. We just know the kid's underneath the fucking floorboard.
Yeah, the problem is that's a lot of generations to assume that nobody in that family got killed by somebody else. What if he's not even an ancestor? What if it's just, the ancestor of some guy that killed somebody from the original Scorpion line?
And see, that's the thing they were like trying to. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have Scorpion, you have his kid, and you want it to be his kid is the one who fucking does the thing, right? And they do this thing where its kid has many generations later is Cole, and that's not a good connection between us, the audience, and the fucking movie. You know what I mean? It's diluted.
Yeah, so what they should. There was no story, like maybe a story handed down, from Cole's father, from his grandfather, from like some oral tradition, Or
it could be Cole. No, Cole could be that kid, and you could do some time travel thing, like he's in some states where it's magic, right? You could just fucking, and then he was raised thinking his father never loved him. Turns out his father fucking fought for him, and maybe like say Scorpion's last dying breath is thing that pushes him forward in time. What the fuck ever. But your connection is this kid, and they just squandered it. You know, like what's the fucking point?
You're right. There was no. You're right. I didn't get a feeling of that. It's not like he looked at him and said, "Holy shit, you're the one that my family always talked about," or whatever. This and that. No,
it was some average.
And it almost feels like they shoehorned in the flashbacks that he was having. It was like he knew something was there. That might have even been like filmed in post. You know, it's like, okay, I need you to look at this thing and then like blink, and then that's it. Okay, now look over here and then blink. And
see, Adrian, I talked to Adrian about this, and I was like, you didn't like the movie, and the reason he didn't like the movie makes sense because you and I have not seen this. There's a cartoon out there called Scorpion's Revenge. It was released last year, I think it was, and that's a better case for Mortal Kombat. So it's the same kind of fucking thing, but Scorpion, instead of dying, he goes to hell. He meets up with this other fucking guy in Mortal Kombat, and the guy's like, "Hey, look, if you fight for me, you can get revenge." And then Scorpion's like, "Fuck yes!" So he's part of that tribe, right? And so they're fighting. Yeah. So we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight the people of Earth just so I can kill Sub-Zero. Turns out it's the guy who recruited him. He's the one who killed, and it wasn't Sub-Zero to begin with. So at the very end of it, you got Liu Kang, right? And him. And he's like, I quit. And then Liu Kang wins. Earthrealm is saved. And then Scorpion has his final battle with this fucking guy because how fucking dare you kill my family? I've already killed Sub-Zero. It was pointless to kill him. And the only reason why bad guy did what he did was because if Earthrealm had ninjas, they would always win. So that's why he took out Scorpion.
I mean, right now talking this out, I think what it should have been, Scorpion can be in hell and he can gain power so long as the story is being told.
Okay.
That's why it's so important to carry this story down through an oral tradition from father to son, mother to daughter, that kind of thing. Because if we forget about him, he goes away and he doesn't get his revenge.
All right. How do you work Cole into this? Cole should have been that kid.
He should have.
Period.
Yeah, and well, that would have been cool too. But then it makes the case for kind of like remembering your heritage and remembering your past and telling the stories about your past so that they don't die in kind of like an allegory. Not in a fucking white pride kind of way, but
I don't even think they should have had a Cole. They should have took another Mortal Kombat character or whatever the fuck. I mean, you have so many Mortal Kombat characters.
Is he based on a Mortal Kombat character?
No, there's no such character as Cole.
Why whatever? I thought he was gonna end up being Scorpion or have like Scorpion, like his soul or his spirit like kind of take over his body. I thought that was gonna be his iconic.
Something. Anything but a new guy.
Well,
and this guy wasn't even charismatic, dude.
He should have been like god damn it, like kind of like a Naruto type thing. Like Scorpion, that power is within him and it's been handed down. It's there maybe, and now that's the tournament. And fucking Sub-Zero's in front of him. It's his opportunity to let Scorpion out. And take over his body full and be able to fucking do full Scorpion.
Dude, I'm with you on any variation of this, other than this. Cole being some ancestor for some fucking lady who you don't even see.
I was okay with that, but we did need more to tie Cole emotionally to seeing his fucking ancestor for the first time.
I thought it was the weakest fucking thing.
Yeah, I didn't give a shit about it. And I thought it was extreme sending Goro to him to be the one to get him to fucking.
All right, so here we go. Here's another problem with that. You took Goro. Now Goro is like the shit. Like that's what it is. Goro is the shit, and so Goro gets introduced and then killed in the same breath. You know what I mean? It's like that's your best guy. It should have been like. He should have killed a bunch of people, maybe be introduced in the second movie, but you don't have a Goro and then just have him get killed by Cole. That just doesn't make sense. Like maybe if Goro came in and fucked up a bunch of people and then you beat him at the very end. I don't know, but no
the
way,
same way
shape,
that they
or
did in
form.
the first Mortal Kombat. Honestly, I think
Exactly.
Goro should have survived this movie.
Exactly.
I think
Goro should not be a character that's introduced and killed within like a minute of the movie. It should be Goro's introduced in the beginning, or not at all. If anything, Goro should never die like immediately as soon as because he's Goro. Like they took away the severity of who this character was, because even in the Mortal Kombat lore, it's we didn't win until Goro, or bad guys didn't win until Goro came to play, and then Goro starts fucking everybody up because he's a fucking dragon. Like he's half dragon, and then like Cole fucks him up all easily. And I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, that was
fucking armor.
God.
I was shocked when I saw Cabal. I was like, really? I really like Cabal, me personally, because I used him a lot in Mortal Kombat 3. But like, I was like, Cabal, what the fuck? And I liked how he talked. I thought that was cool. Yeah, him and Kano, they shared something. I thought that was pretty cool. The dragon lady with the bird wings, I was like, what is this? Like, I mean,
yeah, that was weird.
I mean, she's a character in Mortal Kombat. I'm just saying, like, you have a lot of Mortal Kombat characters. Why? I don't know.
I like the girl with the teeth.
Oh, you mean Melina?
Yeah, Melina.
Katana clone. So that then means that Katana looks like her, which aggravates me. You know? Because Katana is supposed to be like this, like, I don't know. I'm still stuck on Mortal Kombat. So I'm like, she should look at her. So, like, whatever the fuck, man. They had to insert their fucking wokeness. So, what do you think of the story?
5, I guess.
I gave it a 3. Man, we really rated Mortal Kombat pretty low. Engagement. I was 100% in.
Yeah,
I was in.
Yeah.
What took you out of it then? If you give it an 8.
The weak acting. I was reminded that I was looking at actors. Some of the weaker plot points. I was like, wait a minute. They just said we don't want Raiden to know what we're doing, and then they're fucking going into Raiden's place. And
yeah, I give it an 8 for every reason you just said, because it is true. Like every time there was like a bad story plot, I'm like, oh, this is our fucking hero, this guy who loses and quits.
Yeah. But I was engaged. There was no point where I was like, I could turn this fucking movie off and walk away. And no, I didn't get to that. I got to that with Aquaman. I was like, I could fucking literally turn this movie off right now and not give a fuck. This one was like, no, I want to watch. I want to see what happens. I
wanted to get to that. I'd watch a sequel. That's how good it was.
And I was pleasantly surprised at how Kano flipped.
I loved
that
it.
was a subversion of expectations. I was expecting
in a good way.
Bad guy becomes good guy, and he's the goofy, affable, good guy. With like anti-hero. No, he's just the fucking bad guy.
Dude, I want a Gran Torino style movie with this guy, dude. I mean, like, it would be fucking epic, dude. Make him racist, sexist, misogynistic.
They should not have killed him off. They should not have killed him off.
Well, it's cartoons, man. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, he comes back to life. Some elder god says, "Come back." The fuck, you do whatever you want. I want another movie with this guy, Gran Torino style. Please give it to me. All right. Score. Okay. Let me give you my number right here. 0.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same fucking thing right now, and you know why? Because they played the song at the end of the fucking movie. That means they had it they did a fucking Ghost in the Shell all over again. You had the song, and they teased it in a couple of different parts. Like, I was like, this is fucking stupid. They had this song the whole time. They didn't open with this song. They should have opened with this fucking song. The OG one. Look. They should have just gone
the original Mortal Kombat. If anything you could say other than campiness, what is the one thing you could have said?
The fucking music.
Exactly. And so with that being said, you have this movie. So there's a standard you have to reach. And you didn't even scratch average. Not even average.
Yeah, man. I just remember the music in the original was pulsing. It was like boom, 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 boom. It was like this.
Everything.
Down.
Dude,
The reptile fight was a fast frenetic fight and the music matched.
Scorpion versus Johnny Cage.
That was
music.
a good one too, with some rock.
The fucking the Mortal Kombat theme song, Mortal Kombat remix theme song. There was the Halcyon on and on at the very end of the. I mean, just like the fact that I know these things and I'm dumb, that means that soundtrack was that good. The fact that you fucked that legacy up, I give you a 0. Because
I remember sitting in the theater and the New Line Cinema, the New Line logo coming in.
I was so charged.
I was just like,
I was shooting lightning out of my fucking hands.
Yeah, dude. And I hadn't seen any of it. It was the fucking logo for the production company or the distribution company or whatever. And the music had me charged. And they had the track, they had a version of it, and they didn't start the fucking movie with it.
And they ended it with some kind of melancholy Mortal Kombat song. Like, I was just listening to Mortal Kombat just recently before coming to this thing, and I was like, that song is still good. Like, it's still good. And I listened to the remix, the dubstep, and I think that's what they should have did. They should have made a dubstep remix of it. And I think because that's like the more charged music of our time. Yeah. Because back then it was techno. Yeah. Now it's dubstep. They didn't even bother. It was fucking terrible. And like because of that, all the music was not memorable. And at the very end, when you hear that last song, it's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it didn't have that.
You spat in my face.
Yeah.
Like this movie, who do you think this movie was made for? New people or us?
I don't fucking know who it was made for. I don't know. I really don't. I mean,
they were counting on nostalgia. There's no way you're trying to get a new audience.
Right. I mean, they didn't do the things when they had Liu Kang and the silhouette up on the dune and it looked like the OG Liu Kang.
That's what I was thinking.
They were aiming. I was like, did they go OG Liu Kang on this? I thought that would have been cool. They didn't. So I was like, okay, they were kind of trying to draw on that nostalgia when this isn't even the same character, as in the original. So why do that?
You know what my wife said about Liu Kang? And I like the actor for this. She goes, this guy doesn't look buff, but when you see him do the thing, he looks buff. And I was like,
I like
this Liu Kang is cooler. I liked him.
I did like this Liu Kang. I was like, they're aiming really hard at the nostalgia angle with the same hair and silhouette. It was Liu Kang's silhouette from the movie Mortal Kombat.
What was his story? I didn't understand. Did he kill somebody to become? Obviously, he had to kill somebody to become that guy. Was he jealous and did he kill the guy? I didn't get it. Because he says, this guy had the dragon tattoo and I wanted it, so I took it from him. And you're supposed to then infer that he killed it. And I was like, so like, is Liu Kang like petty? I didn't fucking understand it.
I don't know. Well, let me know what it is when you watch it again, because
no, because I played it twice for myself because I was like, wait a minute, what? He killed a guy? And I was just like, but why? But who is this guy? Whatever. I don't care. I thought there was something to it, but I don't know. Other than that, I mean, like, as in 0, do you give it a 0?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
I can't believe you said 0 like I did.
No, I was.
There's nothing
0.
redeemable.
You said 0, and I was just like, that's exactly what number my heart
because
was telling me to say.
I mean, like, okay. You played Mortal Kombat theme song at the very end, right?
After all the action's done.
Everything's done. You play Mortal Kombat, that theme song, which is a remix of the original. So what? So you made this movie for me, and you played that song.
But you didn't play it when I wanted to hear it. I was waiting for it to drop.
Even if that song played, the way it's written, the way the song is, it wouldn't make sense without anything. So when you play Mortal Kombat, the theme song in that movie, it's fucking epic, right? And even if it's a non-part Liu Kang's fighting some random people. Sonya's doing her thing. Johnny Cage is doing his thing, and whatever. But it works. And then you get the outro, and it's like fucking great. So, okay, there's that, right? So it's iconic for all time. Then you watch this movie, and at the very end, you have this melancholy. Yeah, whatever. That song, and it's like.
I think it tried to sound hard, but it really didn't sound hard.
It's not.
I almost feel like they should have just re-recorded and redone the original, almost beat for beat, dude. Because all the sounds are perfect. Just like a remaster of a song where it was the quality from recording standards back then. You fuck it. We re-recorded it brand new.
Amp it. Just fucking amp it, or redub it. Like redub it to dubstep. Like to bring it up a notch. If you're gonna give me fucking hyper, give me hyper. But it gave me a fucking Xanax version of the song that amps me.
Should have been the exact same song.
It was fucking Xanax. Well, it is the same exact song. It was just terrible. And like
no. I'm saying the exact same sound, instruments, all that shit. Just a remastered version.
What I'm saying is
because I'm thinking of like the Superman score. Would it sound the same coming out of like a piano instead of a fucking brass?
You're taking my point and making it forward. So Richard Donner has that Superman song, da 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 da, iconic, beautiful. Yeah. Everything. Richard was it Star Wars does that one.
Yeah.
John Williams.
Yeah.
Epic for all time. Hans Zimmer does his fucking song. Different in all ways. Simplistic. It's called Flight. We even know the name, and it's fucking beautiful. It's different. It's better. Not better. It's different, but it's awesome. So it becomes iconic. And then when you hear it we know what we're doing. Mortal Kombat has that song, and it's fucking epic. So your thought process would then be either you make that song even better or go Hans Zimmer and make something else. And that's what they should have done. But they didn't have the fucking balls to do that. Commitment. I'm going to call this fucking episode Commitment because they didn't commit.
The movie should have been a new soundtrack.
Exactly what it is. It is, though, if you think about it, right?
No. Because Mortal Kombat, when you heard the music and you saw the fights, you were like, I want that song.
Exactly.
I want to hear a song and relive that scene again.
I think the score
comes out and fucking playing at 100 miles an hour.
The score played more with the original movie than it did with this movie, and they didn't understand that. Right. And like, fuck, they fucked it up, and I'm so angry about it. I didn't even think about that until I talked to you about this. Honestly, I really like this movie, and then like when we're talking about the score, I didn't think this would be such a fucking point. But now I'm angry. I'm fucking livid.
It's just the original one was an assault, dude. It was maybe because we were kids and we hadn't gone to concerts yet or anything like that, right?
No, but the music.
Yeah. The music,
the
like original Superman, one, it was an assault, dude. It was just...
You watch Superman, and like this is the best analogy. You watch Superman 1 and 2, and that's a fucking awesome movie, and the music makes it good. Yeah. And then you watch Man of Steel. Guess what? Different music. It makes the movie fucking good. Both are good movies. Both have good sounds. Like this Mortal Kombat 1, it's a good movie, but the score really brings it up. And then you have this movie.
And Launch is really good. In Man of Steel, Launch is the one where Krypton, all hell's breaking loose. And that's some people complain about that scene. I was like, I don't think there was any time wasted in that first Krypton scene.
And Man of Steel, let's argue all day. That movie's good.
Yeah. It's back here on Mortal Kombat. I mean, the thing that made the original awesome was you wanted to buy the CD afterwards.
I did.
The thing you want to buy it afterwards. You just wanted it. Yeah, we had it. We had the cassette. We didn't have a CD.
Yeah, yes.
We used to bump that in our family van.
Dude, everything you're saying rings true. Dude, it was everything. It was fucking everything. And I didn't even think about that until you said that. Until we came down to the number 0, I didn't even think about that with this movie. I didn't even think about it.
And it just pissed me off when they played it at the end. I was like, you had
exactly.
And it was just the same feeling I got with Ghost in the Shell, that they had the song.
Yeah.
At
least it wasn't remixed. You know what, though? Ghost in the Shell, I could argue this. At least they didn't remix it.
Yeah. No, it was almost the exact same song, but done
is the exact same song.
It was a remaster,
Then why didn't you just play that song in the beginning? For that scene.
Why not? That you did shot for shot. Did you just fucking decided not? It didn't need the music.
Exact same fucking thing. Why didn't you just do that? Now, and then this movie, it's like you had the song. Not only did you have the song, you remixed it and made it lesser than what it was, and you played it at the very fucking end. You didn't tease it not one bit.
They did. No, they did. There's some scenes where like he does a punch and you're dun, 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 and then it stops.
Oh wow, I don't remember that.
Yeah, the next time you watch it again, you'll hear it. They throw it in there, but it's a piece of it, like a bar, and then they never they edge you. They edge you. They never let you. They never let you finish.
You're like, I think that they'll if they had created a scenario where it was more revenge on Sub-Zero and just focus on that, and then everything else is kind of extra, then that's what they should have did. I think that if you're gonna do a movie about an ensemble cast, if you just focus on one, like if they did a Tekken movie, you just focus on one character and then other shit's happening as well. Because when you start going all grandiose, it gets lost.
If they had made his, if they had made like Cole's family line, there's a bunch of ways they could have done this. If they had made Cole's family line all of a sudden like they were ostracized because it was the female that survived and the circumstances were murky, and so the whole family line is kind of like cursed, but not cursed because like a luck curse, more like, oh, you're from that family, no, fuck you. And then they had to leave and move to the States where they had a shitty fucking life because of whatever.
Okay.
And Cole had heard this story about this demon that did ice that killed his family.
So
Sub-Zero, and he's like, "You're the guy. You're the reason my life sucks."
No, but like you could even say that he hates Scorpion, right? He hates this fucking guy. Turns out that guy's on your side.
That too.
Or something like that. Yeah. I like that.
They could have made it more emotional for Cole instead of like, you just happen to be related to this fucking guy who's gonna jump out of nowhere.
They dropped the ball on that movie, I have to say. And
it would have been a really easy fix. It's a super easy fix. It doesn't cost any more money or anything to just write some dialogue where Cole's like, yeah, they told me stories about this guy.
And like, there's a classic egotistical thing going on here. So a leader, okay, so you don't have to have the leader be the center character. You can just have a leader, and Avengers does this well. Captain America is the leader, but he's not the main guy. Because you have Iron Man.
No, I'm not the leader. He's the leader. I just pay for everything and design everybody, make everything.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's all you had to do. You could have had Sonya Blade be the fucking leader. And, like, that made more sense tactically. Yeah. If not Sonya, then say Jax, but just say Sonya. Because it just seemed like she was on point. Yeah. And then you just have your guy do his thing. I just thought that was an ego. It was shitty.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Visuals? FX, special effects, what are you thinking? Like, were you like, oh wow, I wasn't blown by anything? I give that 5. I just thought about that.
I go 7 because
why would you give it 7?
It looked good. I wasn't taken out of anything really. I wasn't like,
what do you think of Goro?
Goro could have looked cooler. Like the character.
Who looked cooler, Goro then or Goro now?
Goro in Mortal Kombat 1. There was something about like his eyes, and he kind of had like a sleekness to him in the first video game. No, I'm talking about the game version of Goro. He just looked scarier. He didn't look scary in the first Mortal Kombat movie. He didn't look scary in this one. You know who kind of reminds me of him? The new Steppenwolf. Big, formidable, sleek, even though he was spiky. but he just had this look of, I'm just here to kick ass.
Goro? This Goro? Who died really quick?
No.
The old Goro.
Mortal Kombat 1 Goro. The Mortal Kombat, the video game, 1 Goro.
Why are you? I'm talking about Goro, the movie.
I know. You asked me which one looked better. I'm like, neither. I never really was like, I never.
You didn't like that. Oh, come on, man. That guy was animatronics.
Okay, technically he looked cool, but again, since he was animatronics, stupid. He didn't look scary like the video game one did. His eyes, you could barely see his eyes in the video game. You know, he looked sleek. He looked dangerous. Neither one of the movie ones really gave me any sense of dread, you know.
I thought the new Goro and the old Goro were almost identical.
Yeah.
They look the same to me.
Yeah,
I think that functionally the newer Goro looked more functional.
He could do more stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do more stuff.
The powers, whatever. This movie was as good as I thought it was. I really liked it. And apparently, I guess I didn't like it as much. It's that score. I mean,
I enjoyed it. Again, I enjoyed it. Afterwards, I was like, that was good. I'm never gonna watch it again.
I'll watch the sequel.
I will watch the sequel. I think you know what?
Here's the thing. We have never awarded anything in any category a 0.
I was offended by this. I was just pissed.
Yeah.
When
I don't.
I was. No.
We gave it a 4.3 each.
Good.
I mean, like, even with their ups and downs, it was a 4.3.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy, though. That's like the worst fucking movie we've seen, or thing that we've seen.
No,
I'll rate it.
I don't think we watch things that we know are gonna be bad. I don't purposely watch things that are bad. You know.
That's true.
You know, we tend to gravitate towards things that are probably going to be good.
Well, we rated Wonder Woman way worse.
Okay, good. That was when I fully expected 1984 to be good. Whew. That was another one that I enjoyed. Said I'd never watch it again, and then the more I started thinking about it,
that's how it is.
It's just, yeah.
You start thinking about shit, and then you're just like, oh, like, cause like I was like, I really like Mortal Kombat. Then when I started thinking about it, I was like, oh, I guess I didn't like it as much as I thought I did.
Yeah, I think the score went a long way to it. It trying to decide who it's for. It had moments, but and Kano saved it. If Kano hadn't been there, it would have been unwatchable. When he flipped and died, I realized real quick how much that guy was doing. You know, that guy was doing a lot of heavy lifting for this fucking thing.
Well, I don't think that was
no.
I don't think they were trying to do that. I think that though in the second one, he's coming back.
If they're smart, they'll bring him back.
Oh yeah, definitely, and he would have more of a role.
He'll be the hero.
Oh, dude, no. I like him being bad. You know what would be great? Okay, so if he could convince them that he's a good guy.
Again? Fucking Training Day?
And then he betrays them again, and they're just like,
would be so good.
Fuck!
That would be so good.
Like he makes up some story about his daughter that he didn't have, and then he just keeps going, and then everyone's just like, yeah. And then he fucking goes, you stupid fucking idiots.
Yeah,
then he kills one of them.
Oh, I was trying to save my daughter. Replace daughter with $5 million or something, $4 billion or something.
My daughter meaning $5 billion. And then it's like he's, you know what's funny is like, okay, you got the fate of the world, and he's like, money. Like he literally sees this shit happen.
But true to form though, true to form. It was within his character. It was a decision that he made earlier. He was like, no, fuck you guys. This is a fucking suicide mission. And she's like, $2 million. $3 million. Okay, then let's go. Boom. On the way.
I like how they quickly said, you have $3 million. Look at this shithole I live in. I was like, yes. That's good.
I didn't like the line that she said. I would have really rather I really would have rather her been like and just walk away. Her saying, "No, look at this piece of shit I live in." And I was like, no, it's just a simple like,
because she shat on her own home
yeah.
that she lived for hundreds
and
of
then
years.
She said what Kano said. So it's supposed to be like a callback. So it's supposed to be funny because it's a callback to what Kano had said. I was like,
I agree with you. You're right.
I really would have. It would have been better if she went like, and then walked away.
Do you want to do King Kong or you want to just call it?
We didn't do Godzilla versus Kong?
We did.
But Donkey Kong? I'm down. Just make it quick though.
Shit, you got more than the tank?
I don't got much to say about that movie. Really.
All right. Let me set up the ratios here. All right. So we got give me a second. All right. What did you think rewatchability for King Kong versus Godzilla?
I'm gonna put that at an 8. I want to see it again.
Really? Why?
I like the monster fights. The effects. All that was. I thought
none of it was corny.
It was fun. I put myself in the mindset of when I was watching Godzilla movies when I was a kid. And I mean, it was really the stories were never compelling. It was like, okay, what kind of excuse are they going to have these monsters fight?
You like gave it a what?
Like, what kind of excuse are they going to have, or what kind of story are they putting
to do the thing
just to get to the fight? Just to make them fight. I was like, that's fine. I don't care. They're doing what they got to do. Now they're fighting. Let's fucking enjoy that shit.
What was the rewatchability that you gave it?
I think I said 8 because I am going to watch it again. I want to watch it again.
8. I give it a 7.
All right.
What'd you think about it overall? I thought it was a great movie. What'd you think?
I thought it was a good movie.
I know you put yourself in the mindset, but all in all, okay, the arc between the Stranger Things lady, the black dude, and the weird gay guy or whatever.
It was dumb. It was funny in parts, but it was okay. It felt like Transformers. It felt like Transformers humor.
It felt like they needed a reason to have people there.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. Why did they always do that?
In the end, they didn't really contribute anything.
So you got King Kong and Godzilla fighting, right? And what'd you think about Godzilla when Godzilla steps on his fucking chest on King Kong and he's like, ah,
like yelling in his face,
like this is what it is. And then King Kong's like,
I was down with it, man. Again, it's shit that we've seen in the old movies, because he did like Bruce Lee type shit in the old movies.
Yeah,
right?
but I thought it was more elevated because it was kind of like, I don't know. I came to the conclusion that Godzilla was like, it is what it is. I am Apex.
Like, give it up, prom date. You're
dude, right? Yeah. And then King Kong was like he did that. He did that. I was just like, I mean, they went there with it. And you know what's cool is that first fight when they were on the in the ocean. And this is what took me out of it is so King Kong is able to rip the chains apart. Okay, so the guy, the ship flips upside down.
He has to push the button.
The guy can't, and then the chains release. And King Kong's able to rip the chain. And I'm like, why didn't he fucking do that to begin with then?
There's certain movements that you can do, like at like arms fully extended, and then you have more power here.
You think that he couldn't get his hand on the chain to do that?
Yeah, maybe he just couldn't get enough. He couldn't get his armor or anything in a way where he had the most leverage or power.
Okay.
I mean, again, movie, whatever.
Dude, I'm like, all right. So this dude's one thing that subverted my expectations was the brother who was talking about the hollow earth theory. He was like, how'd your brother die? He was like, gravity just reversed. And I'm like, what? Oh, okay. And then when they go through the portal, that was like a portal. I thought it was just like they go into hollow earth and gravity shifts, but they made it like all magical and shit.
Yeah, that was dumb.
All right, so like there's this energy force that's in the earth that resides inside the apex predators, and then like they tapped that energy signature and put it into Mechagodzilla, which then makes Mechagodzilla, I don't know, do his own thing. But then, like, okay, this is where I'm at. Very convoluted story. So I was with you. They used the Ghidorah head, one of the heads, because in
that was cool. I did like that idea. Yeah.
In King of the Monsters, it can control the other monsters.
Right.
I get it. So they got the head. They're controlling, I guess, Mechagodzilla. And then they give him the energy, and then he takes over himself. Stupid.
I was okay with that.
What?
That Ghidorah took over Mechagodzilla?
No, that's not what happened, though.
Oh.
So he's controlling Mechagodzilla using Ghidorah's head,
like as a transmitter. You're right. They didn't lean in. They didn't lean into the idea that it was Ghidorah still kind of like alive.
I guess maybe they don't say that though.
They never say it.
The energy
it just goes haywire.
And it goes haywire. I like the fact that King Kong. Yeah, okay, so Godzilla could shoot this mythical axe. I didn't get that either. They just had this axe that gets the energy from. Why did Godzilla shoot down the earth? Just so that King Kong could come
up. I think he was. I think how they tried to explain it was, like he senses that there's an apex predator down there, and he's just trying.
So Godzilla shoots down there.
He's like, you're down there somewhere.
So why did Godzilla do that from the beginning? So he senses King Kong's alive. Why didn't he just shoot at him from there instead? Okay, so when King Kong puts his axe in the fucking thing for some reason, Godzilla shoots down to get him. If what you're saying is true, that Godzilla senses an apex predator, when King Kong's around, he should then just shoot at him.
The writers needed a way for King Kong to get to the surface, Kevin.
That's basically it, dude. And that's what took me out of the movie. Basically, I was like, what the fuck is happening right now?
But I wasn't watching the movie with writing, in mind. I know it's like, well, how can you fucking shit on Mortal Kombat, but not this one? Because Mortal Kombat tried to give us characters that were compelling and that we were supposed to be like sensing some kind of danger for them or something right at the beginning. His wife and his son are killed, and his baby is left with the Thunder God, and you're not able to defend them and this and that, and he dies, and oh my gosh, they're trying for that at the beginning. This one, Godzilla versus Kong knows what it is. It's just a fucking kaiju movie. It's an old school.
It is a better
Godzilla
movie.
With updated graphic, which is exactly what I wanted to see when I was a kid. I was like, imagine if I could tell that this wasn't a dude in a fucking suit and this looked real. I was like, God damn, this would be so fucking. And guess what? I was a kid again.
I think that King of the Monsters.
If Godzuki had come out, I would not have given a shit. I would have been.
Which will be awesome. Which will be the sequel.
Let's do it. Let's fucking bring Godzuki. Let's see what the fuck.
Look, story wise, what are you giving it?
The story was trash. I don't know, a 3 or a 4. A 4. I'll give it a 4, because it gave them a reason to kind of move around the world a little bit, and
it did what it needed to do.
Yeah.
I gave it a 5.
They got the monsters together. I'll give it a 4.
Engagement. Let me think. I was all in. Never once was I like, why? While I was watching it.
I'll give it an 8. I'll keep it at an 8. I was more disengaged when they were focusing on the human characters.
Yes.
That really weren't doing anything. So it was almost like in and out. But man,
it was entertaining. I thought it was entertaining.
When you knew Godzilla was creeping up and Kong is fucking tied, and you're just like, he's gonna survive. It's too early in the movie for one of them to die, right? But shit's gonna go down.
I like the deaf girl and the sign languaging. It made sense because monkeys can do sign language. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That was cool. Yeah.
And then it gave it a frame of reference for like Kong's dynasty to be able to make shit, whatever.
And I think, yeah, because this is becoming slightly more of a thing now. ASL and accessibility. It's almost like when you're watching a movie and everything's in subtitles, and then an English speaking character comes up, and you're like, hey, I know what he's saying, know, and then you start analyzing, like, is the accent right, this and that, and you're there with that character. You start identifying with that character,
okay,
and start looking at that person as maybe your avatar in this movie,
okay. Representation.
I don't know. I think this movie opened up a little bit of accessibility because she is using sign language.
That's cool. All right, I gave it an 8 as well. Score, unrememberable, but it wasn't horrendous. I give it a 5.
I don't remember much from it either. Yeah, I'd probably give it a 5.
I would have rated it higher if it had the don't.
Oh, so yeah, the theme. Yeah.
They missed out. I don't know why you would have that, but whatever. 5/5. I give it. Visuals. Now, the King of the Monsters, I thought had better visuals. Nothing beats a fucking hurricane. There's a fire hurricane. There's Ghidorah. I mean, like, a lot of everything was 4K worthy. Yeah. This 4K worthy. It's all right.
I think it had good visuals. The CG was strong, but yeah, you know what? The comparison to the Monsters one.
Yeah, there was nothing like compelling. You're right. The CG was strong. It looked good, but there wasn't like that. I don't know.
Even the visuals in the first Godzilla when they do the Halo jump, I really dig that scene. And
yeah, it was a really good scene.
Some people shit on it. They're like, oh, Godzilla through mist and fuck. I'm like, that's cool, man.
Yeah, no, dude, like Godzilla movies are pretty fucking tight. That Godzilla movie, that was pretty cool. And then like the second one, King of the Monsters, they had a nuclear bomb. There was a hurricane.
Oh, yeah.
There was a ship that was the size of like whatever. And like, I mean, Ghidorah coming down. There was a volcano. There was a lot of shit that looked really good. I mean, it was just a better movie. I hate to say it just was. But this one, the visuals, unrememberable. Like, Mechagodzilla was cool. And
I can't really think of a scene.
King Kong looked cool. He looked fake.
Yeah, he did look good. They both look good. Everything looked awesome.
It wasn't great. It wasn't like.
But there was no real scene. Yeah, you're right. There was no real scene that kind of stuck in my head. Like, whoa.
Like the scenes that should have stuck out was when they went to the Hollow Earth. That's when it should have really rang true. They could have really went for it, but they didn't. They didn't go for it. A couple of tornadoes here and there, explosions, something. But all it was like a jungle. So they go through the fucking top. Even the going through the portal was kind of like whatever. Because when you watch Interstellar and they go through a fucking wormhole, good God.
Yeah.
They make that look epic. And even when they go through the black hole and he's in the Tesseract, it's simplistically him going through a Tesseract. And it's not that big of a deal, but it looks really good.
Yeah. And you're somewhere else. It was somewhere familiar, but unfamiliar.
Exactly. And
that's unsettling. Yeah.
It is. And it sticks to me to this day. So they're going through Hollow Earth. That's your gravitas. That's your point to make a thing. It's epic. You went to Hollow Earth. I mean, god damn it.
Did a bunch of lights.
It should have been a bigger deal.
Show.
And then now you're in Hollow Earth. I mean,
it looks just like regular Earth.
It looks like regular Earth
with some monsters in it.
Exactly, and that's just a problem of imagination. And so Mechagodzilla looked pretty cool. Other than that, I mean, they really fucking squandered that shit. Visuals wise, I give it a 5.
Ooh,
it wasn't bad.
I was gonna say 8. Because it was. I mean, there weren't any effects that took me out of the movie or anything like that.
If I had watched this movie and none other, yes. But I've watched Godzilla 1 or what if we're starting from the original the fight, Godzilla King of the Monsters, it was so good. It was visually, it was so good. And then the second one upped the ante. They had a whole temple to Godzilla. A nuclear bomb goes off in front of Godzilla, which was epic. They have the hurricane, like I said before, the fucking ship that should exist because
you get the scale, and the immensity from especially from the first one.
Yes,
I think the first one was just
they just kept upping it, and then you get to this movie and it plateaus, and I'm like, well, I mean, you garnered all this attention and then you just plateaued. You didn't go up. You didn't go down. You just plateaued. That's why I give it a 5.
I'll leave it at an 8. It looked good. The action scenes were good. I'm talking like the animation for it and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, it looked really good. Yeah. I don't know why they lack of imagination, I think. I mean, because Godzilla 1, like there is no, like, for them to achieve what they did was epic, because there was nothing before that. I mean, you had Cloverfield and things like that, but like they were starting a new thing, and they knew what they were doing when they were doing it. So they made this epic thing. Then you got the King of the Monsters, so they had to up it. So, like, I mean, they had fucking hurricane, they had a spaceship or a big ship or whatever, and I mean, they worked at it. And then the third one, they were like, we got Mecha Godzilla, we don't need to work hard anymore. That's what that was.
I was down with the visuals, but yeah, nothing ever really jumped out at me and said, this is the scene. Pacific Rim, the scene where where the Jaeger gets lifted up almost into space by the one with the wings, and his sword comes out, he cuts it in half, and then he's like in slow-mo with his arm up like this. I remember going like, whoa. It's all CG, but it just looked and had this weight and this feel and this coolness where that scene always leaves an image in my head.
Pacific Rim should never be compared to a Godzilla movie. Pacific Rim is a better movie than all the Godzilla movies put together. If you were to put all the Godzilla movies into one movie and all the epicness, Pacific Rim's a whole new ballpark, because it did so much. It did so much with so little. It created characters, epic fucking scenes. You have hurricanes. You have a nuclear bomb that moves the ocean.
You get the sense. What I enjoyed about it was getting the sense of the weight and feel of something that big moving and doing what it's doing.
There's that, and also they have the song. They have the theme song, Godzilla. Dun 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 dun, and like when the Jaeger's falling down and the bad guys are looking at it, I mean, just everything about that movie was great, dude. Like, it's weird because Guillermo del Toro, I mean, I guess he liked Gundam, but we like Gundam. Could you have imagined a movie like that?
No, real Gundam, real Armored Core.
He did it way better than what I wanted. I mean, like he's like not a nerd like we are. We're nerds. We get hardcore about shit, and then then you get this guy who goes to Japan like this one fucking time and creates Pacific Rim, and it's like, wow, it is a great movie.
Yeah.
Hey, are they going to make an Armored Core for PlayStation 5?
I've been searching that shit, and no. You know what I found out? Armored Core 4 answer. Fuck. And it's my new quest right now. I want to buy it on the Xbox 360 because it plays on the new Xboxes.
Well, because it's backward compatible. No. All right, whatever on that. I mean,
I have it for the PS3. I wish it worked on the PS5. I'd still be fucking playing that game if it was on the PS5.
It doesn't?
No, it doesn't.
That's weird.
No, it's not weird. It's different architecture. But since, the DivX or DirectX, I think whatever video codec, type architecture that they use in the Xboxes, it's all the same. So you just take the disc from one and stick it in the other. It's like a computer. The Xbox is more like a computer than the PlayStation is.
Yeah, that's a true statement.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know why they can't get armor. Why can't we get an armor core?
It beats the fuck out of me, dude. I would play the fuck out of For Answer if I could play it. I don't have a PS3. I try to get another PS3 going. That one broke quick as fuck. Honestly, I wouldn't want to play it on the PS3 anymore. I want to play it on some new.
You know what's cool about For Answer was they were able to combine hardcore geekism of mecha because before that Armor Core was kind of clunky, right? But then they combined anime to it, so it was like literally like you
could play clunky if you wanted to, but there was a reason for it. You had more armor, you had a different set of armaments.
You could go fast if you wanted to.
You could create Epion. You could create Epion and just
we both went there. Yeah, you could go Epion. He's super fast. You get fucked up, or you could be just
heavy arms.
A behemoth. Exactly, dude. They could have went all the way with it, and that's why For Answer was good.
5 comes out, ruins all that shit. Takes everything. Yeah. Everything that was fun about For Answer, 5 takes it away. It's like, oh, you like flying around? Fuck you. Give me that. Oh, you like customizing? Fuck you. Give me that too.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. It feels like there's not that many people that are. You know what? I think that this generation of people right now, they're lusting for Armored Core, a game with deeper roots. I think
I made Tall Geese. I made Freedom Gundam. I made Strike Gundam. I made an Epion. You know, I made all my favorite Gundams. Heavy Arms. I made OG Heavy Arms. I made Heavy Arms Custom. You know, because they had one with 2 fucking Gatling. I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Tall Geese was my favorite. Like Epion was cool and all, whatever. He was anime.
Well, Tall Geese was fun to use because he had the shield and he just had a big old fucking gauze rifle. And it was like a one-hit kill on anything you aimed it at.
You know, they
had the rocket pack for Tall Geese too that did the same thing. It split open and then flew up.
I think that if they made it easy, I don't know. All right, so Tekken is a thing in which you have people who learn complicated combos or what have you in timing, right? But then they made this thing now where if I press a button, I could do a combo, right?
Yeah.
Now, in a million years, I could never perceive that's a thing. And they do this because people don't want to take the time to learn anything.
Yeah.
So do you think that for a Armored Core to work, they would have to make it easier? And like, I'm actually okay with that. I'm not.
Yeah, I'd be okay with it too, because so long as it creates a market for a game that I enjoy playing.
Exactly.
But still gives me the option to go ahead and counterweight my mech so that it moves faster to the right.
I was literally gonna say that. I was gonna say like make it easy to create the thing, but like make it also cool, because I could then just be like, yeah, you made that cool looking thing, but if I make his feet a little bit lighter, he could do this, or some bullshit like that.
I thought that was really cool too, adding weights to different parts of it to give it an inertia, a moment of inertia, and a tendency to go this way or that way.
Yeah.
So that meant, like you could build your mech so that you could have real fast reflexes to the right, which if, like if you're playing another person, they knew that was your weakness going to the left, and they would force you to the,
it's because of what left or right where you put the weapon in that your kill shot. If that was your way of playing, or you balance it and they'd be like, he's a blade guy, like Setsuna from Gundam 00.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, that's cool. You had options. Like, oh, he hangs to the left. That means
that's right. You could put 2 blades on your guys. And just
go. Like, this guy's either gonna come at me, and it just made the game very versatile. So if you fought somebody, you're gonna die because you don't know. And I think that's a pretty cool thing, because no one person, you can't make a mech better than the rest. Maybe you could. I mean, like if you're about blade heavy, you'd be set. Or if you're real fat, usually if you make an agile fucking dude, you're good, as long as you know how to work them. But if you made a guy who pulled to the left because they had a big gun on his right,
my best mechs were always the ones that had the 2 big drums and Gatling guns that came over the top. and then a set of Gatling guns in each arm or handguns.
Yeah,
because I would just use the shoulder ones, and it's just and a what is it, a fast CPU with range, and I just sit there, blast
because they would just target and get them.
It would just automatically track, whoever I was pointing at.
I forgot all about that shit.
Dude, it was fucking awesome. Yeah. All I had to do was make my guy like strafe right or left quick enough to where if they shot missiles, it wasn't a thing. So if I saw missiles coming in, strafe right or strafe left, but I was
which is a good strategy if you're not playing somebody who's really good with a rapid character who could use blades. And that's so cool. Oh man, dude, I love that fucking game. Just think about it.
So my mission right now is to, even though I don't have an Xbox, just to find a copy for Answer for the 360, so that when I do get an Xbox, I'll be able to play it. Because right now, looking for them online, they're expensive as fuck, man. You can't find them. GameStop, there's no GameStop that has any copies of them. So
really, you can't find it on Amazon
for like $100.
Exactly. Because there's a couple of games I'm like, oh man, I wish I could play that game, but I would have to buy the console, then I have to buy the game. Or
I wish they would put, just fucking emulate it and throw it on the PlayStation Store. It's such a simple game.
See, the weirdest thing about emulating a disc game is I hated it. Is you have to put a boot disc. It's like an emulator, and then you have to get some kind of a thing that could play the game. Because I used to do that with Dragon Force and a couple of Dreamcast games. And there's a way to do it, but the more you go towards that direction and downloading all these things, the closer it gets to a virus.
Yeah, I'm not talking about a home emulation system. Any games that they put like on the PlayStation Store under old architecture is running through their proprietary emulation software.
No, I agree. So, I'd rather pay the actual money to the people that, but there's a way. There's a way, because I remember I really wanted to play Dragon Force, and it was a Dreamcast game. And I went and got the emulators. I did everything to do it. And it got to a point where I was just like, this is a lot of work to play a game which I would have paid money to play. And I really wish they would just do that.
I'm right now I'm willing to pay $50-$60 to play Armored Core 4 Answer. And that's kind of where my line kind of starts to blur, where I'm like, okay, now I need to start but there's nothing else. There's nothing else that plays like that for me, except for Dragon Age, Inquisition, where
that's not the same game. You just named two different games.
It's not, but it's the same type of customization where you kind of set your guy up and then send him out to the field and see how he fights and reacts now, based on what his crit stats are, what his attack stats are, what his defense stats are.
I guess
what powers you decided to give him.
That's not the same thing. Nowhere near, because in Armored Core you're able to control the fucking character. It's not auto. In Dragon Age it is auto. Like you would set them to go towards the thing, and they would just fucking attack in the way that you trained it to. Like, because in Armored Core there's no auto mode. You fight with the fucking guy.
You're more piloting a mech.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is like that feeling of
customization,
the depth of customization.
Yeah, no, I
setting something up and then setting it out on the world to see how it interacts with it, and then coming back and okay, let's tweak it, let's fine tune it, and okay, let's send it out again. Yeah. I don't know. There's nothing for me out there like that. Right?
It's a feeling. Really, that's what you're talking about.
That's true too.
Because there's a lot of games with customization, things like that, but it is a feeling. I see what you're saying.
Well, that was the way I like the materia system in Final Fantasy VII, the remake. I feel like the materia system kind of gave me that ability to kind of mix and match a couple different things to see what worked better for my play style. Obviously, not as deep, but still
nowhere near.
No, not as deep, but still, still enough to kind of like when I found a new one, I was like, okay, how does this match up with these other ones, or what kind of synergy can I create?
That's one of the cool things about Final Fantasy VII Remake was they took the materia system, which I didn't think they would be able to, and they advanced it. Like I remember we would come up with combinations like 4x slash with death blow, and you put those two things together, and so like they would attack 4 times, and each time was a chance for like instant kill.
Oh shit.
And then like I thought there's nothing ever gonna be deeper, but fuck, dude, when you have Tifa, and then you're thinking about AP activation and shit like that. Like, I mean, they put so many fucking variables in there. It was way better than what I was thinking about when back in the day. And I thought I was so smart when I put 4 times slash times 2. So I'm attacking 8 times. I thought, oh, I'm so smart. But then this one is like, it takes the account of where they are in the field to where they're attacking in relation to the AT thing. And I was like, what the fuck? This is way more complicated with just Tifa.
In a good way.
In a good way. And I was like, well, it's what I wanted, but way more complicated. So I was like, I guess I was dumber than I thought. I mean, I thought I was a genius when they came up with shit like that, you know?
Well, and that's back in the day too, ever since then there's more depth to games. So they kind of had to raise their game up. If it had been that simple, I don't know. I don't think you would have enjoyed it as much.
Yeah, well, there was not that much out there, you know?
That's true.
But yeah, you used your Final Fantasy 7. That's it.
Huh? Oh.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, what did we end up scoring? What was our score for Godzilla? Did you do the?
I'll tell you next time.
Oh fuck! All right.
It's probably it doesn't look really good. Let's just say.
All right.
Well, I mean, I'm over it. I'll tell you next time. We're gonna end this podcast.
We've moved on. That was half an hour ago.
We talked. I mean, Jesus Christ! Like 30 minutes ago, we were talking King Kong, Donkey Kong, and fuck Godzilla. Then 30 minutes later, we're Armor Core. Oh!
It's funny that you brought that shit up, dude. Because no shit, 2 days ago, I was looking for fucking Armor Core. And I said, this week I'm going to Luna Games. I'm going to all these fucking obscure ass fucking places to try and find. I'm going to go to fucking secondhand stores and see if I can.
You know what will suck is I think that they will create an Armor Core for us, right? Armor Core, right? It's
gonna suck.
It's gonna suck because like that's what it feels like, right? They don't really. They're just trying to get something for the fans, and then
I don't know why. I was so disappointed in 5. So disappointed in 5. It was fucking garbage. That was stupid. They felt smaller. They didn't feel heavy. They didn't feel. For some reason, even in in 4 Answer, they still felt like they were big.
They moved forward in the story, but they reduced the customization, and I guess to make it more streamlined because people don't need to be bogged down by weight or whatever. And I was like, you can have your cake and eat it too, right? I mean, like, weight doesn't have to be everything. You know what I mean? Like, weight just has to have a factor, right? Like, if you want to min-max something like in Destiny, you have to have everything up to par and then like know what you're going for.
Right.
So why not do the same thing with this game and have your mid-max the same fucking thing? Like maybe he's lighter in the feet versus hands to do the thing that you want to do.
Right.
So you're a sniper. You make it go in that direction. But for some reason they made it more mainstream where weight didn't really carry much of a factor. And I don't know. It just
I didn't give a shit about it. I was just like, this is.
They changed it dramatically, and it was like what you could do in one, you couldn't do in another. So as always, if you like our podcast, you can find us on Spotify. You can find us on iTunes. I don't even know what to call it anymore. It's called Apple Podcasts. You can find us on YouTube, everywhere. So please like and subscribe and share. Go forth and do good things. Be the better person than you were yesterday. That's a good thing to always be. Don't be racist. Don't think to yourself.
You're wrong, Kevin. Keep the spoons with the spoons, the forks with the forks, and the sporks are just a bunch of weirdos.
Don't think to yourself, today, I'm going to be racist, but tomorrow, I won't be. No, don't be that guy tomorrow. Be that guy today. Just saying. And always, stay frosty.